Welcome, friends. Let us together rebuild this world so that we may live, laugh, and lore.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Not listening. I'm not listening.
Oh, that took.
Program loaded and ready.
Make it so.
Welcome to the Live, Laugh, Lore podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Tony.
And I'm Mark. And Tony, we're doing another new, aren't we?
Another new. Yeah, this is one that was honestly a distant moonshot that somehow became a reality. But yeah, no, more or less, we're literally getting to a point where we're going to do a full D&D episode. So, Joe, thank you so much. We were coming in, we were saying like, hey, we're going to do an episode. What are you thinking? And Joe he created up the idea saying, what if we do a D&D One-Shot? Right. And I was like, whoa, I mean, if we're bringing in Joe, we got to bring in the man, the myth, the legend as well. Ben, who both of you have been, guests on the podcast. So without further ado, let's first go, Joe. Do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe remind those who your expertise is in and kind of where you see yourself in this One-Shot.
Yeah, happy to be the first repeat guest on the pod. Technically, because I'm introducing myself before Ben, I will be the first. But yeah, I was inspired, when I came up with this idea because at some point in one of the previous podcast episodes, Mark had also mentioned that he had never done a D&D One-Shot. So I thought, well, it'd be a great idea for both of us to get a little bit of experience, dip our toes in, and then Tony came up with the idea to introduce Ben back into the fold because he is also a veteran, as is Tony. So having that experienced player in there, I think, is just going to make the transition a lot smoother and kind of eliminate a lot of the early questions that Mark and I will just be thinking internally now. We'll be too nervous to bring them up, actually.
Yeah, and I think, so really quick, when we say D&D One-Shot, this is just an encapsulated story that we're just trying to reach in. We all kind of created characters. I've created a little bit of my own. I homebrewed a One-Shot. So with that being said, too, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be great for new players. There's also going to be some sideball, for Ben. So really keeping everyone on their toes today. So I'm very, very excited. But that's why I wanted to keep Ben in, too, because, when we normally do D&D, a lot of the one-shots that we do is within our group that we've already had a campaign running for like a year. And someone's like, hey, I really want to try this new system out. And we'll try that out. Or, hey, 2 people can't make it tonight, but they still want to do something. We're like, dude, let's just, actually fight a dragon. Because, ironically, you don't fight a lot of dragons in Dungeons & Dragons. Without further ado, so Ben, you're kind of the resident player here. Introduce yourself, thoughts, emotions, everything.
Yeah, Ben, extremely proud to be the second repeat guest. Really taking a chance here on this episode. No, I'm honored to be your guys' introduction and influence on what D&D is. We'll see later if that was a good idea. But
as a player, I can tell you Ben is one of the best I've played.
Yeah,
with,
love
so
role play D&D, and I know Tony's a DM that prefers role play style. So I think we'll have a great time tonight. Get a little weird, lean into it. It'll be fun.
Calm, cool, collected.
Yeah.
One of the camps we went to early on, they always say, just always experience PDA. These are like all boy like Catholic retreats, and we're like, PDA, like what? Like no, participate, don't anticipate.
Oh,
Still, I think it's kind of funny because you're like, now it's just a group of boys in my basement, and I literally said, let's do PDA. But no, participate, don't anticipate, and I think that's exactly be where your feet are, and just kind of see what's going on because, like Ben said, we're more of a role playing, meaning we're more involved with kind of leading this narrative in a really fun way versus like getting super crunchy with the rules. So we've had groups where we've gone super crunchy. I've had groups that have gone super role play, and I think I tend more toward the latter. I think, Ben, you're probably the same way too. So
for sure,
we'll see what happens with this one shot. It could be one, could be the other. We'll have to see. But yeah, so with that being said, so I'll be the Dungeon Master today, the DM. Just really quick rendition for any of the lay people out there. Basically, D&D is just a very standardized framework where there's some rules, and so myself as the DM is facilitating those rules. So I give the player characters opportunities to say, hey, this is what's happening, or how are you going to react to this? And then the player characters come in, and then they can, act within the world and the framework which, I'm kind of giving them. So I'm kind of keeping the train on the track, so to speak, but not railroading you guys. Definitely want to give you guys some opportunities to solve these problems in a very unique way. And one thing that really is exciting for me is I've DM'd quite a bit. I don't know how many years, I don't want to count, but My point is that it's so exciting for new players because you guys don't know D&D, and that's you guys think it's a not like a fallacy. You know, it's nerve wracking, but honestly, it's so much fun as an experienced player because it's like you guys are reacting in this world and these rules in such a unique way that like you're not trying to metagame, you're not trying to min max, you're not trying to do all these like really crunchy, kind of quite frankly annoying things that the DM gets kind of frustrated on. You guys are no joke just coming into this. You know, it's really such a cool thing, and to capture this in a podcast format. I never thought this would happen, so I'm super excited. Joe, thanks for taking the time. Ben, also thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
Mark, this is awesome that we're really hitting this. So let's really hit the ground running here, boys. So really quick, I think before we start, let's go around and start characters. Who's who?
I want to say, though, before we get started, Tony. That,
Yeah.
We talked before. Normally, we try really hard for this not to be an explicit podcast. But you told us that things may slip out. So
Things will slip out.
Fuck that.
There you go.
There we go. All right. There, Ben's actually the first one. Record it.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, what's your next one? No, I'm joking. No.
Yeah, you can cut that if you want.
Yeah,
Cool of a two.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, we're definitely going to keep these stuff in. The reason why I'm kind of abolishing the rule for this one is I just want everyone to have a really good, nice time role-playing. I don't want you guys to stop and think. Plus, normally when I'm kind of going and I'm thinking of characters, I'm thinking on the fly, stuff will come out, and I do not want to spend more time in the editing booth. It sounds like well, who am I? But it sounds like an editing booth. But no, while editing this and trying to clip everything, and also it kind of takes away a little bit. This isn't a somewhat adult format, so I think it's good. But you can also do clean D&D, whatever. But I think it would be more fun if we do this right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Mark, thank you for reminding me. I totally would have forgot about that. Thank you. I would have been like, wait, hold disclaimer halfway through.
Yeah. So got people under 14, turn it off now. Wink, wink.
Yeah. But also minimize it, but keep it going on the browser. We need to hit those numbers. All right. I'm trying to get Spotify endorsed by the end of this. No. But yeah, no. So actually, guys, if you want, let's just go around the room and talk characters. Who's who? Who am I looking at right now? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I can go first.
Ethereal D&D,
Yeah, so this is Ben. So my character is Fletch. Fletch is a wood elf fighter with the arcane archer subclass. So he's a fighter. So he's from the military. He's a soldier. His specialty is the bow. Fletch actually grew up on the outskirts of the Empire, in a small wood elf town, really connected with the Feywild. They were a bunch of druids and farmers and just people of the land. And
Hippies.
Hippies?
Yeah. They're in the commune.
In the best sense of the term.
Yeah.
Okay, they smelled. All right, they smelled a little bit. It's okay.
There's no currency. There's no coin of the realm. It's just whatever, man.
Yeah.
They're eternal. They don't need showers.
It's just tapestry and the latest ragweed going around. Yeah.
So Fletch grew up really connected to the wilds, but when he was 10 years old, the empire started to expand. The king was interested in bolstering his forces, bolstering his empire, especially with, the forces kind of abounding against him near the borders. And he decided to try to bring up the numbers of his military. And one of the ways he did that was go to all these outskirt villages and kind of broker a deal. He said, you can be a part of the empire. We'll protect your village. We'll keep you safe. We'll feed you. In exchange, all we need is the firstborn son of every house. We just need more numbers in our military. But with those numbers, we will be protecting you. And Fletch's family, gladly did that. And they knew he'd be back, right? He'd come back to his hometown. He might even be their town guard one day, right? The king had other plans. Fletch very quickly showed his prowess with a bow. And the king and the king's guard trained him to be an assassin. And he became very good with the bow. Actually so good that he rose up the ranks rather quickly in only a couple of years and became the leader of the Black Arrow, the king's elite assassin force. Over the next 500 years, Fletch, to be frank, murdered thousands of people, but all in the name of the king. All in the name of the king, right? Political opponents, treasonists, invaders. He was saving the kingdom by murdering people and shooting them in the face.
Yeah.
And he became very good at it, and he was praised and lauded throughout the kingdom. And until one fateful day, Fletch was sent on a routine mission just to, murder some thugs that were stealing from the king's caravans. Pretty typical stuff. And he found himself in that very village where he was plucked up from 500 years ago, except it looked a little different. It was barren, it was burned, and there were gravestones everywhere. And, you know, Fletch was used to this, right? He's old. He's been around for 500 years. You know, elves live forever. It's the typical, you kind of become numb to those sort of things. Until he started looking closer and saw that all the gravestones had the death year just about a few years, if not months, after he left. And, you know, Fletch did some digging. It turns out they never sent protection to his town. They took all of the firstborn sons, they bolstered the army, and they left all of them to die. All of Fletch's family and friends and loved ones have been dead for hundreds of years, and he didn't even know. And he didn't even have a chance to defend them. So obviously he got a little mad about that, and he actually went AWOL on that mission, fled from his crew, from his unit that he leads, had to kill them all to get out, and just ran, you know, and he was just consumed with rage and revenge and the lust for setting things right, and he found himself in a village in the Feywild full of druids and rangers and wood elves, and he was thankfully able to reconnect with that ancestral magic that he'd missed for all these years. But it just, in the back of his mind, really in the back of his eye, this burning rage, this chaotic rage to just set everything right and to kill all the evil in the empire, and save all the good, is a burning passion in his heart. And he knows what's good and he knows what's evil, and he will not listen to anybody else's opinion on that.
Internalize good and evil.
Yeah.
Playing by his
kind.
own rules.
The best kind.
Yeah. I love that. No, that's perfect. Yeah, thanks so much,
Fletch. Yeah.
Maybe we should have had Ben gone last.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to follow that up.
I was going to say, you're going to be able to tell the newbies versus the veteran here.
Yeah,
based on our
Well, maybe a
backstories.
little happier. I don't know. I tend to get very negative characters.
I think every single time Ben has come up with a character where, like, somehow his whole thing got destroyed.
The whole village is dead.
And it's always like a path of redemption. And it's like, huh. So when Ben sent me that, like, because I was, you know, planning this, it's, you know, not just, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, so Ben was sending me stuff back and forth, and all of a sudden I looked at it and I was like, huh.
That's a better
Classic.
character.
Yeah, I love it. You know, you just need something like that. It's easy to grasp onto. It's like those tropes, right? And, you know, I think the other big thing, too, is when you make characters like that and, you know, exposition, it's always about, like, what do you feel like you could really role play well? What are you attaching to? So, but you guys are killing it. Don't worry about it, you know. But I do want to hear what's your character, so, you know, let me know.
All right, so my character, first of all, I get the pleasure of sharing a mic with Joe this episode instead of my brother Paul. So hopefully, my personal goal is to be a better mic buddy than Paul was.
Oh
so.
yeah, Paul didn't hesitate to throw an elbow when he wanted to get a point across.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yes.
Paul. Yeah.
This is my stunned face.
Ben plays D&D with Paul.
Yeah.
Everything's getting interconnected, by the way.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
getting
Love
into
you,
a
Paul.
web. We're getting into a web of Live, Laugh, Lorians connecting.
Nation.
Yeah, L3 Nation getting connected with. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, sorry, Mark.
So my name, I'm a dwarf, barbarian, Thordan, son of Gordon, and I hail from the Iron Mountains. My father comes from a long line of blacksmiths, and we're actually like the most well-known and top of the craft in all the lands. Very sought-after weapons, very sought-after skill. My mother was a lycanthrope.
Nice.
Lycanthropy.
Nice.
And she always knew she wasn't made for the mountain. Mm-hmm. So she went out.
Well, I mean, it's so claustrophobic.
Exactly.
I mean, even though you're not seeing the moon's happening. You're transforming. What are you going to turn a cavern and go, whoa, hey, whoa, I'm walking in. Yeah.
And so she was out with her kind. I mean, also a dwarf, but a lycanthrope. Mm-hmm. The king, the very same king that Ben was talking about, had a vendetta and led hunts to kill lycanthropes. Mm-hmm. And my mother was killed in one of these hunts.
Because I imagine as they're bolstering troops, normally what they like to do is they like to keep the spirits of men like alive while they travel. So they literally go on spirited hunts. I mean, this is like a well-known, documented thing of the realm where, you know, you want to keep your men happy. And at the time, like, what's more clever than a lycanthrope, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's better than a deer, better than an elk. And so that was kind of like a very kingly hunt.
Yes.
So they were really sought after. I mean,
right. And so my family has always had an issue with the king.
Yep.
Whether or not Fletch was on one of these hunts may be to be determined.
There's a lot to remember. It's been a long time. I don't know.
I did not think about that. Yeah.
However,
See, now we're getting to role playing. This is
yes.
perfect. Yeah.
So Thornton has always wanted to leave the mountain to try to avenge his mother and seek adventure of his own.
Yep.
Because of that instance, though, Gordon has been afraid of that and wants to keep Thornton close. Also, as the only son and the living last heir of this family, this well-known dwarven family, Thornton felt his duty to master the craft and stay behind the anvil.
Yeah.
Until one day a dragon attacks the Iron Mountain, and Thornton leads the charge against it and kills the dragon, giving him the name Iron Fist. Thornton Iron Fist.
Nice.
After that, he gains a taste for adventure, a taste for fighting. And he tells his dad, I need to leave the mountain. So, leaving the mountain with his family heirloom, a great axe called Stone Cleaver, he sets off
By
on his
standardized
own.
great axe, I did not sanction a magical item right now. No, I'm joking. It is all but name. I just want to make that very clear. No, because there are great. There's literally, I think there's almost a great axe exactly named that. But yeah. You have other magical abilities.
Exactly. I just wanted a cool name.
No, I love that. I love that. So what's your cleaver again?
Stone
Cleaver.
Yes.
Nice.
So he leaves the mountain looking for adventure.
Gotcha. Perfect. No, great. Joe, what do you got for me?
All right, it's my turn. So I am a human bard. My name is Franklin Bean. My father taught me everything I knew, and in that he also taught me the greatest band in the world. And that's kind of my thing, is that I'm a bard that exclusively plays Creed.
Nice. And you're wearing a Creed hat, by the way.
I am.
You walked in, I was like, dang.
This is my role playing.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bard that exclusively plays Creed music to inspire my fellow compatriots. Yeah, so with my lyrical delivery, I also outwardly detest anyone who's critical of my music. So my background is, like I said, my father taught me everything I knew. So my father was bard for the king, he that was there playing music. He may have even played some songs he created on those hunts, those royal hunts, when he would sing of the successes and
I imagine like a lycanthrope on a spike, and then they're just singing, can you take me higher? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
with arms wide open, and you're just ripping
everything would be in Creed lyrics and the deep bass. So with that, rumors got around at one point that my father had essentially badmouthed the king. He was not a fan of the king's musical taste. Even though he would listen to my father's Creed music, he was much more a fan of Swiftie music. Oof. So rumors got around that my father did not like Swiftie music, and so the king threw him in the dungeon. And my father had been there. I had been hoping that maybe he, feeding him kept him alive. No. They put in a rule, no interaction with the guards. So unfortunately, he starved down there in the dungeons.
Okay.
So kind of my ultimate goal is I want to partner with a band of well-known adventurers in having someone who's slayed a dragon in our party, as well as a 500-year-old elf who's a master assassin. Might help my odds here. That I will come out of this alive. But what I ultimately want to do is to gain enough notoriety and wealth so that eventually I will be asked to play an audience before the king. Mm-hmm. And with my wealth, what I want to do is to hire a master necromancer who I will disguise as my apprentice when we go to play in front of the king. So while I'm playing the concert, I will have my apprentice, the necromancer, sneak down into the dungeons because all the guards will be attending the concert. He will sneak down into the dungeons to resurrect my father. And then once he's resurrected, we will escape. And once we do, my father and I will do, as we did in the past, teach our bard skills to others, but we want to form a bard college, and it'll be the Human Clay College.
The School of Rock.
The School of Rock. Yes.
God, no reason. By the way, just also, when you're explaining that, in my head, there's just like, so you're saying, the king's a Swiftie. I feel like there's like a Grimmer Wormtongue, like T-Swift cultist wearing like all the wristbands are like, my liege, no, you feel 22. You can't feel with arms wide open. You can't feel higher. Surely you see this. He's poisoning you, and
My liege, you're not the problem. I'm the problem. It's me.
The king is in this era today.
Yeah. We also don't like werewolves. Jake Gyllenhaal. That's why we must hunt the lycanthropes. We must hunt the lycanthropes. Oh, wait, no. He was in... She dated Jacob, right? Not Jake Gyllenhaal, but Jacob, the guy, whatever.
Taylor Lautner?
Taylor Lautner.
Yes,
She dated him.
But
I knew there's a
she
connection.
also dated Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Dude, first off...
The red scarf or whatever. That's the whole thing with Jake.
She gets around. I did not know that.
Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Also, yeah.
He kind of looks like a werewolf.
Yeah, but I thought that would be a good good connection because like surely we're Team Edward here, right? We must kill lycanthropy. But no, so now that sounds perfect, guys. I totally appreciate the backgrounds because that really helps me kind of bring everything into it. Now, whether we resolve everything, that's gonna be the next question, and that'll be up to you guys. But with that being said, I really do feel like we're just going to cut out some of this beginning exposition because I will be damned if we go to a tavern and go, hey, you know what I mean? Like the classic normal D&D thing. No, we do different here. So I really do feel like, I got to remember names here. I know your guys' names, but Thornton, and then we have Franklin, and then we have Fletch. Okay, Thornton, Frankton, Fletch. So...
Good luck.
Franklin, Thornton, Franklin, Fletch.
Son of
so I feel like Franklin or Frankie or
Master
Frank
of the bucket.
F dog. So Franklin has already kind of basically, I think you've been playing around the local taverns and you have been, singing your heart out. People are, giving you, silver pieces to basically be like, I want this all night. You know what I mean? Like, I need to hear Creed. Maybe some Nickelback, maybe some Three Doors Down. Hinder if you're feeling it, but you're getting all the big classics. But as you've gone through, you've kind of also heard the disgruntled, folk in the tavern. And I think that's where you've picked up these two gentlemen, where you've gone through and you're like, hey, you also have a vengeance. Hey, you also have a vengeance. And you guys know that along with these hunts, that virtually there's this larger than life gladiatorial pit where they know that the person, the personal guard basically kind of oversees the gladiatorial pit. But also, that anybody who's anybody is going to be at this, right? It's almost like this huge pomp and circumstance, flaunting wealth, flaunting everything that you have. And you guys kind of see this as a golden opportunity to show your worth. But you also recognize too that these games aren't really for the common folk. So there's no way for you to kind of go in and schmooze by getting a ticket, right? You guys, it's looking more, you're going to have to be in the pit. Participants.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also know that the person who leads the participants is none other than the court's mage. You know that he's kind of the one-stop shop. He is your kind of guiding light post, wherever you want to consider it, for all things magic relating to the realm, right? He's kind of, as for all intents and purposes, like the headmaster of any wizardry school or anything like that. So if you need connections, he's kind of your guy. So you do know this. You're kind of approaching it. And I think that's where we're kind of going to get started off. And just to kind of even cut a little bit more through, before you can even get into the gladiatorial pit, you must first solve 3 tasks that the wizard requires of you. And these 3 tasks are very important. They're going to test your head and your brain and your mind too. No,
All 3.
Yeah.
All 3. Wow.
Individual.
That's School of Rock quote. Yeah, School of Rock. But no, really. But you're gonna go in through and you're gonna have to solve these 3 tasks. So you kind of have a feeling that he's almost it's almost like interns. He's basically like, hey, we kind of have these, we've got a lot of things throughout the realm, and we're gonna get each of these parties to solve through them, right? And so we're gonna require of you to solve these first 3. And you know that basically it's just almost like Skyrim-esque. A messenger comes up, hey, I've got a letter. It's just for you. And this letter is basically writing up these 3 tasks. And virtually you're going to be kind of fled into more of this crypt area, not really in the Iron Mountains, but kind of on the outskirts mountains. Also, since it's a one-shot, I don't have to get too much into the whole exposition of the land where we're going. Not really important. You just know that it's kind of like these hills areas. But it is a, natural crypt nonetheless. But that's where they want you to go. You have the necessary provisions. You have everything on your backs. You got your magical items, both uncommon and common. And you guys are ready to go. So, your journey takes you through the mountains. And you're going through the foothills, and as you go through, you basically come up on what seems to be almost like this natural ravine, but there's almost these little veins that shoot off. And you notice that there's one that looks almost man-made, but so natural it's kind of almost hard to tell. But you have a feeling that this is where you should begin your journey. And so as you push through, you notice that you're kind of opened into this natural crevice. And, natural light's coming in, so don't worry. I know Mark has dark vision. You probably have dark vision too, Ben. All right, nice. You actually don't have dark vision, Joe, but it's all right. Yeah.
Poor old Franklin.
Poor old Franklin. Dude, you should have your bivocals, man. You know what I mean? But, Benjamin Franklin. All right, we'll go. And so the whole point is that you guys are rushing through, but you do notice 3 pedestals. Those 3 pedestals are in front of you. There's kind of all situated from left to right. There is basically they're almost like ivory, pristine. They're almost like out, they don't look like they should be there. So someone clearly has put them there. You also kind of have this feeling of unnatural, magical aura around each of these pedestals. The left pedestal is going to be a spherical object. The center pedestal is going to be a leather object, almost the size of a hand, about the size of your hand, you know what I mean, like if you're doing fist. And then the third is going to be a club. So they seem to be suspended in this magical aura, and they're just kind of sitting there. And you read from your note that, once again, testing your head, your brain, your mind too, but you realize that each of these are going to be feats in which you need to complete. So you kind of have a good idea that this first one, as you read the note, is going to be more of a intelligence, wisdom trial. The second one is going to be very much a dexterous trial. And the third one is going to be all-out strength. So, what would you guys like to do?
Three feats for us to accomplish. The king never surprises me with his originality.
It's almost like this is a tutorial for the game. Any thoughts? Any one that you're dying to go to?
So is this like a Neanderthal club? Like it's just a club you have in your hand?
Straight club.
Yeah, okay.
It's smoother. It's smoother to the eye. So it's not like a rough,
Yeah, I would say anything coming to dexterity or agility, I would be more than apt. So I feel most comfortable with choosing that pedestal first.
Okay, so the middle.
Okay. Oh, I imagine we have to do all 3, right?
Oh, yeah. These are the 3 tasks. These are the 3 tasks in which he wants you to do.
So it seems like the club is geared toward me.
Maybe.
By
the way, we're all looking around at each other. I'm giving eyebrows. Maybe.
Then there's other ones geared toward my boys, Frank and Fletch.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that everyone can do these, right?
Okay.
So there's possibilities, even though you're more adept to it. It's not a one-shot, but you might experience some discomfort.
Thornton, you seem eager to show how much stronger you are than the rest of us. By all means.
Thornton smash. Let's do it.
Okay. So you realize that as you start approaching this, the ethereal blue light of the aura that's holding up this, somewhat rather smooth club, you realize that inside your head at that moment, you're basically brandished with 3 objects in front of you. A fist, a peace sign, and an open palm. I need you to fight this magical entity in a Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors, but with a caveat that you can overcharge any of your attacks with your strength. So, for example, if I end up beating you, let's say you throw scissors and I have a rock. If you are able to use your strength and I have a DC back here, some threshold, and you roll over it, you can overpower that attack, thus causing scissors to cut the rock in half. So it's pure random, but if your strength, rock and roll it.
Yeah.
And we go on shoot. You ready? Let's start 3. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, so Mark beat me 1. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so now, Mark, I beat you.
Yeah.
Would you like to roll? You only have 1 more left, baby. Better odds in Vegas, but you can roll.
Yeah.
It's not, you have an unlimited amount of rolls. You should definitely roll.
Yeah,
You should roll.
So it's...
So roll your... So you're doing a strength check now. So what you're going to do is you're going to do athletics. Let's call this athletics. So you should have a +6. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll 1d10 or 1d20. Roll that and let me know +6. And into the dice tray, please.
Come on, baby, no whammies.
Well, it's a 2 + 6, so it's an 8.
All right. Convention stands. Mark, you have lost.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Boom.
Okay. Mark has defeated me with rock. I forgot that we are an audio podcast. So you have gone past this trial. So, with that being said, the magic is basically rushed out of the room. It goes past your hair, and you kind of realize as a bard, and you're feeling more, and also as the magic user, right, for Fletch, you start realizing that whatever has happened, you've passed the first check. Also, you also notice that Mark just went like basically he just like went straight. He didn't talk or do anything, so he just like whatever happened, magic went into him. This is pure. There wasn't any dialogue or anything going on.
It was internal?
Internal.
Okay.
But you do know that Mark has officially... Sorry. Thornton has officially uncovered the club. And it at that moment is slowly, off the pedestal, rests into your hand. And you feel like it's a pretty good weight. It feels very natural, like a club would. But you also feel like it's almost like mechanically designed to be a really great balance. You know what I mean? It's not like a clumsy club that you'd find with a troll or a goblin or anything like that. This seems man-made. But you do inhabit.
I was going to say, certainly not dwarven made.
Yes. Yeah. But you have stone cunning.
You mean it's actually useful?
Yeah. Yeah, so now there is 2 more pedestals in front of both of you. All of you. Sorry. 2 more pedestals. So you have the now left and then center. Left is the more what you feel as the wisdom, intelligence, and then the center is more of what you feel is going to be the dexterity.
Maybe we should have Thornton do the wisdom as well. What do you feel about that?
I don't think that's a great idea.
I would agree with Fletch that I don't think that's a good idea.
I've known him 7 days, and it's been enough to know that's not a good idea.
It's kind of funny. You're actually pretty good at wisdom. I mean, he's got a +2, I think, or a
And then
+1.
Fletch will very confidently walk down to the left pedestal after that dig.
Yeah. Trust in the cards. So, same kind of deal. The second that you start approaching this aura, you start feeling as if, a message is slowly going onto your brain. You start to realize that at this moment, you feel like your cognitive sense is up to 200. So, Ben, this is where, by the way, rock, paper, scissors is clearly not in D&D. That's why I wanted to show this out. I'm going to cover it from them. Or actually, so what's really going to happen is you're going to have to be the final say on this. Okay. Right? I have in front of me 8 playing cards. Mm-hmm. They are numbers associated, so it's ace through 4. And then there's also red and black. So you either have to, I'll let you know, but I'm going to show them right in front of you. It's basically a memory game. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go and show you. And you have to decide, just remember it, right? Remember the numbers, remember the colors. And at the very end of that, I'm going to ask you either colors or numbers. You're not going to know which one. And then if you have to get above a 90% success rate.
Okay.
And if you don't, you can use intelligence, and I can kind of help you out here. But are you ready?
You meant to say wisdom, right?
Wisdom 2.
Yeah. Good.
I am a wise man. Ben, you feel a little more wise. So let me quickly move the cards onto the table.
Okay.
You're going to have to get them all. If you get one wrong, it's 87.
Yeah. Well, you can get one wrong. Sorry.
Never tell me the odds.
You're right. Yeah, never tell me. Trust in the cards. All right. Are you ready?
There's a lot of rounding.
I'm not sure I know what's
87
happening, but we're
and a
going to
half
do
is
it.
90. All right. In your mind, lore-wise, you're feeling these numbers and colors coming across to you, and you feel as if you are very drawn to, I got to remember this, your hypothalamus is burning right
So I need to remember an order of 8 cards.
Order of 8 cards.
Okay.
Yeah. Ordering numbers and then also colors. Are you ready?
Yep.
And I'm going to do it exactly how you read it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ready? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to do a quick timer on it as well. Sorry, I forgot the timer because that's also very important. I'm going to put them out. Ready?
What are we waiting for? This is easy.
And I'm going to
Atta boy, Fletch.
Damn, Elf think he's so confident.
Okay. I would like the colors.
Okay.
So you have a half chance on each of these. Okay. Ready? What's number 1?
Black. Red.
It's okay. So, okay. So, we'll keep going, just because I'll help you out. So, number 1, you're saying what?
Red.
Okay. What's number 2?
Black.
Yep. I shouldn't tell you. Sorry. I don't know.
I can read you like a book.
What's number 3?
What did I say? Red, black, red,
Next.
black.
Next.
And we can't help him?
Not yet. Yep.
Black, red, red.
I'm getting approval nods from the group. You've passed, Fletch. Your years of assassin memorizing faces and names have somehow awoken in you this
500 years of playing solitaire have paid off.
Durin's beard, he
I was-
got it.
I was never invited to the spades game, so
You weren't.
I don't really know why.
Might have been all my constant moping. I'm not
I
quite sure.
don't know. They didn't like my stories about my dead family, I guess.
They didn't like the cut of my jib. All right. No, that's perfect.
I told you
Okay.
guys my whole family's dead, right?
You may have mentioned it.
I usually lead with that.
You didn't
Just
answer
do
me.
it.
Sets a real good tone.
You didn't answer me last night at the tavern. Did you kill my mom?
I told you there's a lot of dead people. I don't know. Would you remember 1,000 different times that something happened?
He even said lycanthrope, but didn't even cut down the list.
No.
I remember every sword I forged in that mountain.
Dwarves are historically known to be more steel traps. Elves is just a number game. How could you possibly remember, everything across the board? So, no, that's perfect. You guys are doing way better than I was expecting. This is perfect. Now, the last one is the center. And you just witnessed... Oh, sorry. You feel a release of tension from your hypothalamus. You feel like your cognizance is back to normal. You also notice and feel once again this rush of not only physical wind, but also like the magic is now released. You feel it's almost that 2/3 of the magic in this room has been relinquished to the ethereal plane. So.
Yeah. We were a little worried, Fletch. You had a big vein going across your forehead there while you were doing whatever
Tis
you
true.
were doing.
Tis true.
I try not to think very much, but that was tough. That was tough. I was told a long time ago, we don't pay you to think, we pay you to shoot. And you can't really shoot a mind game. I don't know. I tried.
Good soldiers follow orders, so there is the very last one, which is actually the center one, and you feel as if this is where dexterity is coming into play.
Franklin, it's all you, man.
I feel like this is where I will shine and prove my worth to the rest of the group. I approached the center pedestal with the object of leather, I believe it was.
Yep, you feel like at this moment, the second you approach the pedestal, same thing. You now, from watching it twice, are now kind of like finally understanding what they went through. Your body goes, straight. You start realizing that your head is just, spinning with all these symbols and letters, and it's almost as if like interesting cadence going on. A tick, a talk, a tick, a talk. So, with that being said, Joe, I need you. I'm going to take my phone out. I have a stopwatch. You have to get it to the nearest second, whatever second you want, but to the nearest second. And you have to be plus or minus 0.08. Just going to be fast hands. But if you don't get that, then you can use dexterity and we can help you out here. So are you ready?
So I'm aiming for 1 second flat?
So it doesn't have to be 1 second. It could be 5 seconds, but it just has to be to the nearest second. So meaning take your time, do what you need to do in order to prep as much as you possible. But I will put the stopwatch here, and you know what? I'll just start it so you don't feel pressure.
So trying to hit a whole second?
A whole second. No matter what second it is, you're trying to hit a whole second. So whenever you feel it, and you've used iPhones before, right? You can just press stop. Yeah. It's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, no, it's not.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go.
Look at those fingers.
All right, so I'll be honest. I've done that trick. Ben has seen these where I done a Flappy Bird one, but honestly, this was way harder. Our group could not get the millisecond down. So, all right, Joe.
Mysterious Dungeon Master, you don't understand the intense tempo of Creed songs. All right, we have a master over here.
My fingers are on fire when I'm playing my entertainer's
just constantly 4/4. That's all you have in your brain. By the way, I didn't specify your instruments. You technically have 3 instruments. Go hog wild, dude. Whatever 3 instruments you want. All up to you. By the way, just for the listeners' fact, Joe got 14.03. Dead on the money. So golden, Joe. That was fantastic. Well, I thought that'd take a lot more time. I thought there'd be more failures. I thought we'd start seeing what hit points are, but
practicing save throws.
Seems like the king set a real low bar.
You now, with this third and final desperation, this match to cling on to whatever is hanging on the pedestal, you feel as if that now is gone. The wind rushes over you, and now this piece of leather just hangs onto you. Once again, this is very odd. I forgot to explain it for the sphere. Same thing with your sphere. It's very odd. They're like, it's clearly man-made and not magic-made, right? Because with magic, you will never find imperfections. But these ones are like just unnatural enough to look created. And specifically for the leather, it's no joke. Like, yeah, it's the size of your hand. I mean, when it's almost like an extension of a long tip mitten. Same thing with the ball. It's definitely a sphere, but it's almost as if 2 pieces of not leather, but almost like cloth are just kind of stitched together, creating this ball with some, material on the inside. So it's definitely harder, but it is what it is. So now you guys have these 3 items. They don't feel as if there's any attunement that you need. So you've successfully completed the wizard's task. And now you feel as the admittance to the gladiatorial region, or the gladiatorial arena, is now up for grabs. Let's travel back.
Question: does the wizard have a name? Mossman the Wise?
I gave Mark an interesting thing. That's also
I think I remember Fairywinkle.
Yeah.
Is that what he called himself?
Yeah. Periwinkle.
Periwinkle Sky?
Yeah. I'm Fairywinkle Sky.
He told us after several ales at the tavern.
He would not stop talking. I mean, can we talk about that for a second? Yeah. It's 3 trials. You have to take 2 hours to explain it.
Yeah. He took more time explaining it than actually
we've been here for 5 minutes and we're done already.
Yeah. He made it feel as if,
Some people just like to hear themselves talk, I think.
That's 100% true.
You do feel, but Mark, that is funny. Like in D&D, like whenever, like you're like, oh, what's the character's name? It's always like DM's like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. But this is perfect. So you feel like you have not only accomplished everything you want, but you also feel like you're gonna get a favorable seed in the gladiatorial pit with how well and how fast you've executed. Because 1, none of you are tattered. All of you are unscathed, and you have 3 items in perfect condition. Assuming that you guys don't mess around while going back, you know what I mean?
Literally nothing could go wrong from here. I feel it. I feel it inside me. How do you guys feel?
I feel good. I'm not like my younger brother who may try to mess with some cargo.
I was fine. My mage hand was carrying it the whole time. I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it is less than 5 pounds. So, it's not even, there's not even like oil from your fingertips. It's just the mage hand. So, but yeah. So, you know that you are going to return these task quest items to the court wizard, Periwinkle Sky. Right? Isn't that his name? Periwinkle Sky? Yes. Periwinkle Sky will greet you. Why, of course. You've brought back the items of 3. May I have them? May I see them? It would give me much pleasure to see what you have gained and what you have lost. And he kind of looks over you guys and starts realizing he's going, no damage.
No, it's pretty easy.
He seems too
Easy!
surprised.
No, you have heard me from last night. By the way, my head is killing me right now. You have heard me where I explained where the Herculean talons are challenges of going through and scissoring rock in half. That's never been done, especially for a dwarf. Or
Skip.
The speed of...
Skip. Does this work?
The speed of the trial.
You probably don't even remember the Creed session we had last night. I don't want to hear about your...
Creed, I'm a dedicated Swiftie. The king, of course, is showing its... I think it gets to a point where, you have to understand the lyrical genius behind I just want to shake, shake, shake. But no, I see that you have brought back these 3 items of 3. I see that you are unscathed. This will bode well. Very well. And you notice that, of his clipboard, you already notice that there's a couple names crossed off, like, horribly maimed, MIA, maybe we'll return back to this plane at some point, and all these different ones. And then you get all the way back to the top of the list, and it seems as if there is just 3 teams left. Much like comedy, rule of 3, baby. Darth Bane rule 2.
We were the schmucks that didn't pass,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to meet them. But, I have names for all of them, but I'll actually, I won't say them all, all right. But, so you notice that there are 3 remaining. So, with that being said, it is now time for the next task. Normally, what he's going to do is he's going to wait a day, and he's going to have you guys, relax, do what you need to do, because surely he was not expecting you to be back this time. Right, you had kind of a 24-hour period, and quite frankly, that was like 3 hours. Hour there, 30 minutes solving it,
Yeah, listen, Perry, baby, if we could just kind of speed through this a little bit, I really would like to spend as little time around you as possible. I'm gonna be honest.
But
chances are the other teams would probably be...
The bards, they're playing our queen.
We got a bar right here.
At this point,
maybe just give us the bye and put us in the championship round.
So at this point, when he says the queen's about to play, you notice that his sleeve comes up, and you notice a bunch of various friendship bracelets. 13 is a common number across the board. Strength, all this other thing. You notice that these are all there, and he's a very hardcore Swiftie. He will naturally be a little diminished, the fact that you guys don't want to join him, but he goes, very well, very well.
Well,
right,
we don't want to offend you. Perry.
No, I'm not offended.
I'll take a bracelet.
No, these are for friends. I will put you up. And he's going to kind of walk away. Oh my God, you know what I mean? And go back, kind of slink away. But you guys realize now that you are now kind of up, right? So, at this moment, you are in front of the pits. You're kind of entering below, right, where the commoners, or not commoners, the noblemen and the noblewomen are coming up. Anybody who's anybody with any form of wealth is kind of aggregating and coming around this whole Coliseum, where you guys are going into not the nosebleeds, but the inverse of the nosebleeds, where the basement of the basement of the basement of the basement of the crypt of the basement. Because basically you guys have to go down and past all these crazy, there's, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my. Yeah. There's also hordes of goblins. You see, hobgoblins. You see trolls. You see giants. It is astonishing.
Any dragons?
It sounds
There
like
might
lot of
be a
Creed
dragon.
fans.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, it does.
But
Yeah.
it's almost as if there's some magical sphere around here that, it's almost like a bag of holding where you can extensively go underneath, and at any moment, you can get called to action. So you basically have a call sheet where you have not necessarily a cell, but it's a room where you guys can prepare. It's a room where you guys can talk strategy. It's a room where you guys feel as if that this is your kind of green room to get ready, to save this, stage speak, right? So this is your green room. You got a rider. The rider, I don't know, black and mild. I don't know, couple out, a couple drinks, couple of that, and you guys are just kind of chilling like you normally would. The finest elven ale, because this could be your last meal. So they're treating you pretty well.
Why Elven?
Dwarven mead there
Okay,
too.
thank
So
you.
elven ale, you get your dwarven mead. You know what? I specifically said in the rider that they have to be left and right.
It was in the contract.
Yeah.
I mean, just the smell. God.
Yeah. By the way, why is this room not set to 61 degrees? But
If it doesn't taste like goblin piss, I don't want it.
you see a bunch of goblins snickering because they're right next to you. They're like, "Oh, I can give you some," But no. So you guys are awaiting the trial. Now, what I will like you guys to do is I would like you guys to roll either history or maybe perception, because there's something going on. Why, once again, the wizard did not take these 3 items. Why did they not? What exactly is happening?
17 perception.
Ooh. You guys want to roll as well? You guys more well happy to roll. It's not just,
Did you say history?
you can do history.
What is that?
So it's on the very left side.
You scroll down a bit, there's a long
Let's see,
list.
plus 2 for history, and the perception was the other one?
Yeah, perception. So you want to take your max.
I'd rather roll history because it's plus 2. Perception is plus 1.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, roll your history. See what we can grab.
Am I at D8 here?
No, D20. D20
7.
plus, or is that total?
7 plus the 2, so 9 total.
9 total. Okay.
So I've got +6. So you did perception as well.
You can do perception as well.
So
Anybody can do perception.
Okay, so-
Because basically what's going to happen is you guys can piece different information from each of what you have.
Got it. So my roll doesn't counteract his.
Nope.
Okay. So I've got +6. So.
Yeah. So basically you guys are each holding your respective,
Yeah.
artifact, and you want to figure out what's going on.
25 total.
Did you get natural 20?
19.
No, I got 19 plus 6.
We call that, dirty 20. But, so.
Natural 20 me, it's crit, right?
Crit you, I'll
baby.
let you know what's going on in that club.
Can you not the crit, but
Come on, man.
So, yeah.
Forget.
can you make that a T though?
Yeah. Yes. So, had to wet my whistle. So, by the way, with mead, this is the mead I brewed. So, in the Hobbiton mug. So this is full circle.
Green Dragon, that's... Oh, yeah, that is
Hobbiton. Yeah, we got it
not
from New
green,
Zealand.
It's not the
Yeah,
Prancing
yeah.
Pony. Sorry.
Into the prancing pony. So, you guys, full rerolls. Let's go the easiest one, Franklin. Not getting much from it, brother. You're looking at it, you're going, yep, this is definitely a couple pieces of leather woven. It looks like it's meant for a hand. Not really getting a lot of it. Next up is Fletch. Fletch, you realize that there's something about this ball, this sphere. It's almost as if the material is almost perfectly designed to the perfect traction, friction for a hand. You feel as if it's not necessarily the most aerodynamic thing, but it's almost as, given that it fits into the palm kind of nice and you can kind of propel it forward, there's something that is aerodynamic about it. You're kind of trying to figure out why. Wow. Thornton, you get it. You totally get it. The way that it's formed, where your hands are supposed to go, it's almost perfectly, it's almost perfect for your grasping, right? But you also knows that it bows out kind of, right? Sometimes clubs have this gradual, but it's very quick bow and it's very straight and there's a very big top. You also notice that there's a base to it, and also with such a high roll, you're starting to see some similarities across the board. you're starting to realize that there's something about this next challenge that might be a little different than just slay the dragon or, overcome the mighty hill giant. There's something slightly more here. As if all these three things are connected. And that's that. And you're about to get called quickly, so I don't know if you want to familiarize yourself with your items, or if you want to modify your items in any single way. Have I led the horse to water yet?
Yeah, so...
And there could be a history test, yeah.
Oi! Franklin, you're a human.
I am.
Don't your kind hit balls in some way that they fly over?
Now it depends on the sport that you are playing. What size ball would you say yours is, Fletch?
It's about the size of a palm. It's a palm ball.
Palm ball, you say? And we have a specialized club, well balanced, as I recall.
Yep. And it's wooden.
Yep.
Just help the.
Thornton, would you say that you believe the wood used in the club would be hickory?
I'd say it.
You're asking the stonecutter what wood it is.
I could give it a smell if you want. I'm familiar with the wood.
Let's give it a smell.
All right, I'll do a with survival. Could we do or nature?
Yeah, you can do nature there.
A little nature check here. 19.
Golly.
Yeah,
you're going.
Oh, that'll be maple. That'll be a nice hearty maple. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I put this on my pancakes this morning. Woo. No, but yeah, not only what type of what it is, how the fertilizer was, or the soil from the tree it was. You're so well attuned that I think at this point we can call you. You have mastered this simple weapon or this simple club. You also know, since you've analyzed the ball, that there might be some way to maximize, with the history check from Franklin, you have realized that, we need to hit this ball and we need to hit it far. Is there anything that we can do? And then at this moment, as you guys are connecting the dots, Periwinkle's going to come out and goes, oh, why, yes, we are almost ready for the next challenge. Settlers, survivors, get ready. And you realize at this point, you probably have maybe one more action each that you can do to prepare for what is about to come. So if there's anything you want to do, realizing that, any buffs you want to see or anything like that,
seeing as Thornton is the wielder of the club, I would like to cast a bardic inspiration on him.
Mm-hmm. How's that look? Are you just kind of like jamming out and just like...
Oh, yeah. I'll hit him with a little bit of, just something I've been working on. It's still in the works. I haven't,
It's a 4/4.
It may be a hit. It may not. I'm not sure yet. But... Hello, my friends, we meet again. It's been a while, where should we begin? Now I remember. Now, that might be a total miss. I don't know. It's just something I've been trying lately.
You notice the goblins adjacent to you are originally, you feel as if they're going to be very big critics. And that upsets you. That upsets you. But you also realize that through the lyrical genius, they kind of went, started nodding their heads a little bit. Sorry, I forgot we're an audio podcast. They start nodding their heads. They're going, ooh, whoa, there's something about this. You know what I mean?
Fuck with some goblins.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing, too, is that, Ben, you now have a bardic. So make sure you record that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure we're all good to go. And that's just a bonus action, so you do still have an action.
Wait, do they both have a bardic?
He did it on me because I've got the club.
I'm sorry. I thought you were doing that for
Thornton,
Fletch. Okay, you have the bardic. Correct. Sorry, Thornton.
Where do I
No. We'll just remember it. Yep. It's one of those memory things. So the other thing too is you still have an action if you want, because that's a bonus action. Yep. So if there's anything else, by the way, when I say you still have one more action left, you technically it doesn't go in any order. So if you still want to look over your character sheet or find anything that maybe might be inspire you in any single way, definitely let me know. If you have any questions, please let me know. But you guys are more than welcome to also answer. It's not just we can do this parallel process here.
Yeah, so Fletch is going to cast Longstrider on himself. So you see him kind of pull up his pant leg, and like
Nice.
rub his calf a little bit, and it just flexes just a little bit bigger than it was before. There's no big hand motions or any big, glowiness like other typical, flashy magics. Just, it's
You
like,
hide the needle.
his leg muscles got a little bigger.
Yeah. That's that baseball that Jackson, he would smash bats over his.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Get a little Bo Jackson there,
So he can run faster now.
Oh, nice.
So let's see here.
So what I will say is that for what we're doing, I will say that is your overall. Though you can run faster, you feel as if the physiology of your body is just generally faster. So it might be like a faster swing.
Yeah.
Just because
this lasts all day. Honestly, he probably should have done it earlier, but it's warming up.
Yeah. Well, after it's so easy to get the other trials.
So
Gosh, I should have put you guys through Meat Grinder, dude. I should have. I'm joking.
So going beast mode, does that increase my strength, I guess, at all?
Yeah, so what that's going to eventually do is that is going to do.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
So basically, you're going to get advantage on strength checks. So you could go into a rage. I will say this mechanically will be a little bit difficult, just because. We'll see. You're more than happy to go rage because you also don't know what's going to happen. So this is just kind of a prep.
What is the size of this green room?
About the room we're in right now. Yeah, 100 feet by 100 feet. No, I'm joking.
So
we're in a real deal
I
studio.
can rage at any time, though.
You can rage at any point. Yeah. And that's as a bonus action. So you can wait until you see the trials and then go. You don't necessarily have to do anything right now. I mean, it's just more or less like if you guys recognize that the objective is I'm going to have to hit this club as hard as I physically can or accuracy, with some accuracy and dexterity. I'm going to have to hit this and project the ball who knows where. If there's anything that you'd like to do for yourself. Or, like Mark, I think you... Not to, lead you, but I just think that this might be good for your character, would be something like you are so tuned with weapons and just melee in general from both being a fighter but also coming from a blacksmith that you recognize that the chip of the wood is solid. It's going to get the job done, but you also recognize that if someone had some other wood that might be a little bit more spongy, let's say cork, from an instrument or something like that, you could cork the club a little bit. Get a little more speed on that baby. A little more zip, If you would like. The only problem is that I will say, if you do it, there's potential that you could just break this back. They'll give you another one, but,
So I'm going to take cork from an instrument. Does that mean he's got 3 instruments that he loses one? Now he only has 2?
First off, his instruments is voiced. Truly. The rest of them are just there for show, I would think.
Okay.
But it's up to you. These are your instruments. I'm not saying anything. Yeah.
I will say my instruments I carry with me outwardly, showing them to demonstrate to people, to show them that I am a bard. But my innate abilities allow me just through air guitar and microphone alone. That's how I demonstrate my abilities. I never have to actually play my guitar in the back. It is a Gibson. It is nice. It's valuable, but
it's an SG. It's good.
If we lost it, it would not be the end of the world.
Fletch, I have this idea of adding cork to this club.
Seems devious. I'm in.
All right, Franklin,
you're taking from someone who's just roided up.
I will give you this Gibson 52 Strata guitar.
Is that supposed to mean something?
Not to anyone but me.
Okay.
Understood.
All right.
This is my pride.
Nothing that has ever been forged in this dwarven blacksmith's forge.
It's real shiny.
So there's no metal, but I'm going to do the sounds anyway. Ching!
Ching!
I have a crowbar. I don't know that helps.
Do I have to roll to make this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is, since you are of the blacksmithing, I think that you could probably also. So you've done your action, right? Fletch. Sorry, I'm pointing over. Fletch, you've done your action.
Yes.
So I would say that there's going to be half dexterity here and then half strength. So it's going to be like you basically have to cut the hole and be really careful with it. And then the other person's going to have to, basically seal everything in so it looks very inconspicuous when you come up and they don't question you, right? I would think that maybe Thornton, you could probably do the strength portion, and I'm really thinking that Franklin, you could probably do more of the dexterity. That's right.
Is there a referee or umpire that will be checking this this club?
You're not quite sure yet.
Question: did Periwinkle?
One person did juice up. The other person has a magical mean of a slight juice. Kind of like pine tar on his hands.
What is
You're kind of at the point of no return here. And also your gladiatorial pick. Keep that in mind. I mean,
that's true.
Survive, right?
But what is the color of Periwinkle Sky's robes? Is it like a black and white shade, like striped?
You feel as if you are dead on the money. You would think it would be like a sky light blue, but no, it is a Kansas Chief jersey. Hey, am I right? Did I do a football joke? I don't know.
Yes,
but
yes, you did.
we didn't watch the Super Bowl. I didn't know what was happening. Jen and I were playing. We were playing Stardew Valley.
He's got 87
in No Man's
on
Sky.
his back. That's Travis Kelce's number.
Yeah. He's got the white stripes in 87. So, but yeah,
Okay.
no. He. You feel as if then. Okay, actually, really quick, if you all can roll, maybe an insight check, right? So you kind of already figured out that hey, maybe this guy is going to be checking what's happening.
Is that D20?
Yep. Yeah. D20, and then you're going to add whatever your insight is.
Fletch got an 8. I stopped paying attention to that guy. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was so annoying.
13.
13? Okay. Yeah, Fletch, you didn't get much.
I didn't want to.
Yeah. I hate thinking about that guy.
5. So I also did not pay attention.
No. But Franklin, you do quite. You're starting to understand that he is so into the arcane arts that he's probably going to be looking for more magical means of cheating and be more egregious means, because at this level, his the threshold of magical ability that would cause his shackles to be up is significant. So if you do a slight, I don't know, small level spell or more of a manipulation of actual materials, you feel like that's going to slip by, because he's looking for the big egregious one, right? He's looking for the big spells that are going to be problematic. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
But you guys are good to go.
Yeah, so let's do it. So drilling the hole, that's the strength.
Yeah, so I will say that you have a perfect rapier. So I feel as if you could probably, I would say that if you direct it, right, Thornton, with the side of your axe. By the way, is your axe two-headed or one?
Stone cleaver's two-headed, yeah.
Stonehead. Okay. Grab another thing. You have a javelin in there, so you need some blunt object.
A hand axe. I've got those are one-handed.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah. So you're gonna do the back end of the hand axe, and with your rapier, I think you're gonna basically Franklin's gonna hold it, and you're gonna kind of manipulate, go around the circle while you're gonna be lightly tapping it.
Yeah.
You're basically gonna be drilling down.
Yes. Okay.
And at this point, you feel as if you're probably gonna only have one attempt because you gotta get going.
Yeah.
And then after that, packing everything in, you should be fine.
Yeah.
And so let's just say at this point, you guys can easily just quickly snap the neck of the guitar. I don't know if guitars are
a family heirloom.
Yeah. Would you tell Picasso to sell his guitar?
No. So you feeling that cork on a neck of a guitar doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey, it's all good. But yeah, so you can easily make it, meaning your preparation of materials is already there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You feel as if you have one shot. So let's first, you guys are both going to roll. And so,
D20s again?
D20s, yep. And so if you can, I'm going to say, normally I would say sleight of hands, but I feel like this is more of an acrobatics because you're kind of going with the rhythm. It's almost like, almost like how blacksmiths used to whistle while they beat out metal. It keeps the thing on. Well, you're the perfect beat, and he's the perfect blacksmith. Yeah. So let's just you can either do performance or acrobatics.
I will go with acrobatics as I'm +9 in proficiency. So
there you go.
Oh wow!
And a nat
20.
Crit.
I was so excited to see when that would happen. Wow. All right. So Mark, you can go real bad, and you guys will still accept it. So
okay.
But go real good, and then your bat will be even better.
What if I just get a 22? I don't.
Oh, then you're.
12, but plus this is a strength for me.
So yours is probably going to be, well, let's do. There's probably it's probably athletics. I mean, you're really extending out, right? So it's probably a +6 because it's going to be you're proficient in it, right?
So 18.
Perfect. Yeah. So flawless. You guys are on a tight schedule, but you are rhythmically as you're whistling. What's the oh my gosh, 6 Feet Under. Creed song. Why am I forgetting it?
Oh, come on, baby.
I know. Oh,
Thornton, hold me now.
I got you.
I am 6 feet from the edge.
Yeah, 6 feet from the edge. Now I'm thinking. Sorry, I didn't do the voiceover too. So you were whistling to that tune because as you're going feet into this bat, you guys are rhythmically and in perfect concert, literally going through and drilling out this bat, putting the cork in, replacing it, and at that moment, Periwinkle goes, "Champions, unite!" And at that moment, it's almost like a Star Trek transporter. You are literally in the green room,
Beam me
and
up, Scotty.
you're now out in the open now. At this moment, you hear, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's overall battle of..." And he holds out for a long note because I have to look at my notes.
Are we not even the main event?
No. And it's going to be Take Me Out to the Goblin Games. This is the Home Run Derby, where our champions, who just recently figured out through wits of their own, of their mind and their brain and their head too, which should have taken them very long time, but who knows? I'm not quite sure. But I'm excited to introduce our contestants. Pitching for the Home Run Derby is the Goblin Man himself from the Crimson Hosiery. Go Sox. We have the Goblin, Garbo Lacey. And then at this moment, the crowd goes wild. Garbo Lacey pitching a perfect game more than once, more than twice. He is it. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to get it. All I know is that you hug the plate, you better be ready to hug a ball, because he owns that. Now, welcoming in as batter number 1, batter number 2, and batter number 3. You guys, do you want to choose who bats first, or it doesn't really matter?
Question, are goblins... this may not... I may be answering my own question.
I like where your head's at.
Goblins are not considered humanoids, correct?
Oh, they are.
They are.
They're humanoids. Oh, yeah. 2 arms, 2 legs, bipedal. Yeah.
Okay. Would I be able to cast...
That's Star Trek logic. By the way, we got into a really big argument in D&D at once. Do you remember that? It was during one of these ones I was arguing with. But basically, I was like, no, humanoid is Star Trek logic. Bipedal, 2 arms, 2 legs. Yeah, we got into this one. Sorry. It's just funny. I sat back. I'm like, guys, we've already talked about this. No, but we haven't. Not with our group.
Would I be able to cast Charm Person on... I'm blanking on the goblin.
Garbo
Lacey.
Yep. From the Crimson Hosiery.
In order to have him throw meatballs for us.
Okay.
Down the middle.
Yep. So, I really like where your head's at. I'm going to say there has to be a manner of deception. Because Periwinkle's going to be...
We have to hide this from Periwinkle.
He's going to be looking. Right? So, they're going to welcome you all. So, he's going to say, and the next team is... And he goes, "What's their team name? Do you guys want a team name? Any preference on anything?" The Avengers! TM. Trademark. Yeah. Would you like to be... you could be anything. I was just saying Avengers because I thought it was funny.
Could I approach... I keep forgetting the first name.
Garbo Lacey. Yeah.
He's
already on the mound, by the way. He's on the mound.
Could I approach Garbo Lacey? Oh, Mr. Garbo. Oh, I am just such a huge fan. But I've never seen anyone pitch like you. That back-to-back perfect game. Oh my gosh. What a legend you are. Can I shake your hand, sir?
Oh, okay. So,
Interesting.
So, if you could, please roll a performance or deception. What are you trying to do? Because, like, you're doing something nefarious, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, if you can, please do a deception roll and tell me what you get.
All right. Yeah, so it's deception, I'm +9.
Nice.
And you said performance was the other? Performance, I'm +6, so I would choose deception.
Perfect.
Fuck! I got a 3. So +9, I'd get 12.
So he's going to go, wow, okay, but still, the lights are on, people are cheering, and he's kind of in the zone, but also he's going to be like he's seen this before. So he's, nah, hit the bricks, you know what I mean? Get out of here. Damn it. So, yeah. What you trying to do? He's going to, kind of start rat-a-tat, give you a little heat. So, at this moment, though, they are going to call out the Avengers, or whatever you want to call yourselves.
Sure.
Okay, sure. We'll do
Perry's
Avengers.
Fairies.
Yeah.
We have our Thor right here.
Perry's Fairies.
The King's Slain era.
King Slain. Are you sure you want to do this in front of your good buddy Franklin? Also, a little on the nose.
Is the king in attendance, by the way?
Not yet.
Not here. Okay. Right.
Not yet. This is piddly stuff, right? They're like the odds right now. Like this is a Vegas, maybe 10-1.
We're way on the undercard.
Yeah.
So Periwinkle is the highest ranking official here.
Periwinkle is technically the highest ranking official. He's also the official, right? You know what I mean? So hard to consider that. But yes, so he is watching you guys. The announcer is going back, and he's going to go, yes, welcome to the Avengers. We have a outstanding lineup, but we'll have to see. To explain what's going on for also these new incomers, you feel like you guys might not be the first people to go through it, right? To explain what's going on with these people, they will have 3 balls each. Each time, they're going to go for a yard. They'll want to get the home runs, and based on their team's total score, will determine if they continue on. And if they don't, well, you saw the last people, and then the whole crowd's going to jeer and everything like that because we
didn't see the last people.
As you could tell, there is a lot of blood in that sand. You know how baseball fields are like that red? It's crimson and splotches.
Yeah,
splotches. So yeah, take it for
my kind of game.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So what's going to basically happen is mechanically, you guys will get 3 balls each. Now, you can do things during other people's balls, during the pitches. I should say pitches just to avoid confusion. But during these pitches, you can do things to yourself or before you go up, or you can try to do whatever you want. But keep in mind that, basically each ball is kind of like a round. And this is one of many, right? You feel like there's going to be more to this. So maybe not go all out. But if you're looking like you're not going to do well, then maybe kick on the gas, you know what I mean? Pull on the afterburner. So, with that being said, mechanically, here's how it's going to go. You can choose. You can either do strength, or you can do dexterity. And keeping in mind that if you do strength, you're going to get farther, but you're going to be less accurate. So you're more prone to foul balls. If you do dexterity, you're going to be less far. You're going to be shorter, but you're going to be more accurate. So the probability of you hitting off is going to be a little different. What you're basically going to do is you're going to roll 1d20 based on if you choose dexterity or strength. And then based on that, you're then going to roll a d10. And then based on the d10, that's going to be the percentage in which you're going to be either inbounds, meaning home run, or out of bounds, meaning foul, and you can't continue. Who's first? Who wants to go? Anybody itching?
I feel that Thornton, as our strongest unit in our team, should either lead off or play anchor. Fletch?
I'd like to see him go last because I don't have a lot of faith in myself on this one. So I'm used to shooting things, not really swinging things.
Sounds good to
Thornton,
me.
if you can bring up the rear.
I thought you had high accuracy.
Ale's on the lowest score tonight at the tavern. Right?
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, I'll get it up. I'll get it out of the way if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
I'll show you how it's done.
So at the second that you walk into the batter's box, much like the pedestal, you almost feel as if you're going into this aura of magical field. Basically like a quick check. Like the waterfalls in we have to do live life for here, right? Like the waterfalls in Gringotts, basically like if you're like disguising self or any other magical means that he's checking for, it's gonna go off and he's gonna call it. But you notice that your spell was enough of a weird one and low level one that it goes through. So you're juiced. So if you want, because you're juiced, add your proficiency to. So you're gonna do your dexterity plus a proficiency, or your strength plus proficiency, whichever one you chose.
So,
but you have to let me know which one. Yeah,
we're using the club that we found. Are we all using this same club?
We're all using. Yeah, you're all using the same club,
understood.
and you gave yourself with the cork a +1.
Yes. Okay.
I might be giving you guys a little too much, but we'll have to see. I honestly, I did a few runs, Monte Carlo runs. How you doing? But but also,
no wonder it's up to 1 a.m.
yeah. I think I worked this out. I might have made it a little bit too easy, but hey, we're having fun here. I love it. So yeah. Fletch, let's let it ride. So you can get +1 from the bat. You're going to get your proficiency since you're basically what I'm saying is you're technically running faster, but your whole body's moving quicker. So I feel like you're cutting in, like you're dropping your elbow just right. By the way, Ben is a huge baseball fan. This is what kind of inspired me to do this because I was like, oh, Ben, please correct me on anything I'm saying wrong. But yeah,
you're great. No, and before I go, fellas, just remember, like shooting an arrow, like slicing a dagger. It's not about how hard you swing; it's about where you swing. If you want to slit the throat.
Do you eye Thornton as you say that?
Yes. But I'm trying, like, I didn't go to regular school, so I'm actually trying to be inspirational, but it comes off, like, very grotesque.
No, that's perfect. So, you also know that Garbo might be throwing some heat. Who knows?
He can try.
He could try. You also notice that, dude, before he gets to the mound, he is just crushing some goblin ale, which it's kind of getting your olfactory sense tingling, Thornton, right? You're smelling this goblin ale going, ooh, it actually smells like goblin. You know what I mean? But he's crushing some goblin ale, and he's also just ripping the heater. Like, real solid. You know this guy does not mess around.
Dude, he just got out of a Creed concert. Oh my god.
No, dude. He's got a little bit of a lip pillow going too. He's yeah. There's like a magical slug in there that's just kind of giving him a drip of poison. You know
I'm
what I mean?
liking Garbo Lacey more and more.
Yeah, needs crimson hosiery. What's you know. But okay, so I keep looking over at Thornton. No, Fletch, what would you like to do? Are you gonna? Yeah, I mean, he's throwing a pitch right at you.
We're swinging decks.
So he's boom right down the pipe, and you know that this is a very clean, very standard fastball right down the middle.
Yep, we're gonna take a rip, and as Fletch does, you see kind of that back foot kind of dig in, and that calf muscle just kind of pops out.
Yeah.
Little veiny bastard. 12
total. Okay.
Wait.
Oh wait, no. So it's a 12.
Yeah.
And then did you do +3?
You gave me +7. It was a 5.
Oh, you already did the pluses. Sorry. I didn't know you did the pluses.
I was gonna use a Bardic.
Do you have a Bardic?
Yeah. From.
You gave
you gave it to Thornton. That's right. I'm not gonna use a Bardic.
So you might have noticed that he didn't use a Bardic, and he maybe could have used one. You do have more Bardics if you want. You know, up to you. But the whole point is that so you feel like you have a relatively solid hit on it, but it very accurate, goes right down the middle, but hits the big green monster. Not even that's actually in left field, but whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no green monster.
I believe that they call that the Green Goblin.
Yes, in this, yeah.
I made this company. All right. So it goes right down the middle, hits the fence. You feel like you're almost there, but what are you gonna do? And so at this point, you see a little bit of sneer, and you hear the announcer, "Oh, so close, man! Garbo is just throwing heat." And they have a little bit of a Doppler gun checking the speed. It's in feet, clearly.
Before Garbo throws his next pitch, am I also able to cast a Bardic Inspiration on Fletch as he's
yeah.
preparing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either one of you guys, you know what I mean? At any point you can act if you'd like.
Yeah, so you see Fletch slam the club down in frustration and kind of getting on himself. Open to words of inspiration right now.
Come on, man, you got it. We believe in you. Fletch, you're our guy. Let me send you a little Bardic Inspiration here.
So you go to the end scene, you're like, this is his walkout.
Just imagine that not baseball spherical orb that we don't know what it is, saying, "Can you hit me higher?"
All right, let's go. Grips the bat tighter, grinds the foot in a little harder.
Trust in the cards, Yugi. Oh yeah,
Another one coming.
And I think what he's going to do,
the crowd can hit the vein. They can feel the vein hitting their face.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He's never flexed his forehead harder.
Or his calf.
This one is going to be wild.
All right.
I'm not going to lie, I rolled a D20. I rolled 20. Natural 20.
22.
Dang. Okay. So, even with my 20, you kind of notice that Garbo put not only just a little zip on it, but he kind of dropped his elbow a little bit and put a little bit of slide on it. You know what I mean?
There, yeah.
And by the way, you're left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, that matters. Yeah, Garbo's a southpaw. So, he's bringing in, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's going to fool you, but in the reality, it doesn't. By the way, also fun fact, the only reason I know anything of baseball, one, I sat the bench. Let's go. The second one is the fact that I just watched a Deep Space Nine episode of Take Me Out to the Holodeck, which made me think of I should play this, which they talk about a lot of baseball rules in it. So if you guys think for a minute that this chess captain had any baseball knowledge before then, no, it's all research.
Well,
and Star Trek.
Dungeon Master's also left-handed, so that played a
Southpaw, how you doing?
Just like Gordon,
But also the fun fact, I was so bad, didn't matter if I was right or left-handed. I was sitting that bench, brother. All right, so dude, I was I was the MVP of chewing bubblegum, dude. I was rock and rolling. So, so you feel like you just hit perfectly on that swing. Even though he kind of made it a little bit more difficult, you feel like you hit it solid. So what'd you get? You got a 22?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going to happen is you're going to have, you can't fail. Yeah, the way that this is going,
never.
Roll a D10, and even if you get a 1, you're still good to go.
How about 9?
You're good. So basically what I'm doing is there's some difficulty check,
right,
and then I subtract what you got from the original difficulty check, and then I basically do a percentage and say, hey, by the way, did you get within the percentage of the Goldilocks zone? You hit it so square on, dead in the middle, even though it's a little bit weird, even though it's cutting in, you kind of like, with your calf, took a little bit of a lean back and just freaking center. Yard. So
Garbo,
the crowd wild.
I know your goblin mind can't wrap around this, but the harder you throw it, the faster it leaves.
Yeah.
Simple physics.
And he goes lifts up his glasses. Apparently he has now, but no. And the crowd is going absolutely. The announcer's gone. Number 1 for the Avengers. First hit of the night against Garbo. That's not going to bode well for the Crimson Sox. You know how they treat relief pitchers, and you can start seeing him shake a little bit. Not good. That was your second hit.
That elf actually delivered.
I couldn't believe it either. But that is what happens when a contact hitter hits it pure.
Yes.
All right,
you can tell Fletch is acting like he's not hearing what they're saying.
But deep down,
yeah, it's kind of cutting.
Rock hard.
So, dang, we are. He's throwing you right down the middle.
All right.
He's not throwing anything fancy.
23.
All right. All right. Roll a D10.
9.
Oh my goodness! Down the pipe, another rip. The crowd goes wild. Going, gone.
That's further than the last.
That was further than the last. Dude, someone tell heads up past the Coliseum. Yeah. But no, absolutely. You just ripped 2 right off the bat. You can tell that Garbo there's some intensity now in his eyes. He's realizing that he just gave up 2. He just got off from 2 no-hitters. He just gave up 2.
Yeah. And right after that, you see Fletch look Garbo in the eye and snap his fingers, and a little fire comes out, a little prestidigitation.
Oh,
like a little gun, and he goes.
Do you light up your own heater? Yes. This guy's ripping heaters. Oh my god! Yeah, no, that's golden. So you guys are now 2, across the board. So,
am I able to cast vicious mockery at Garbo Lacey?
I would say you are, but keep in mind that there might be a little bit of a deception check, because this is magic, and Periwinkle is looking.
What if he wasn't looking?
That's true. You could do that.
As I walk by Periwinkle, I want to slip a oil vial out of my pocket and just drip a little on his cloak. His very long
You're gonna
cloak.
Snape him?
His very long cloak.
Wow. He's gonna Snape him.
As he's watching, he's watching the crowd. He's all up in it,
Well, he's feeding all the energy.
He is.
I haven't seen this much energy since the Queen came.
Yep.
The Coliseum was filled. And she was feeling 22. I don't know that many Taylor Swift.
So I'll drip it on him as I walk
that's
by,
fine. Yeah,
and then just give a little snap.
Once again, this is not like magical. So for him, he's just kind of like looking at it being like...
It's Fletch's shitty magic. Nobody cares.
Yeah. What's going on? You know what I mean? But yeah, I think he's just going to be taking in the ambiance. And also, you feel as if Fletch doesn't get the command roll that often. So you feel as if that this is... Yeah, you're going to squeeze it by. So, are you going to light it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, at that moment... I will give you a chance to cast it while he's going to be... Oh, dear. You know what I mean?
Because Fletch saw he knew what you were going to do, right? So he's trying to give you
He felt it.
Distraction.
So I'm thinking... I can't remember what Vicious Mockery... I have the player book somewhere.
You said, on here it says 2d4 wisdom save dis attack.
Yep. Actually, let me read it right here. Bo, we're actually using physical books. This is big. I absolutely love using physical books, but there's also this dead time in between. That's why I talk it through, because...
I don't know if this is it might be a net negative if he casts Vicious Mockery, because that might make him throw harder. I don't know.
I think it'll knock him off his game.
Or
I think
he might throw a beanball.
Maybe.
Yeah. What I might do
or
is...
he could die.
Yeah, I think I got it. Okay. So, Vicious Mockery. So, yeah, it's a cantrip. And so you can do it right away. Range is 60, so you can see Garbo. He's all good. And so basically what you're doing is...
I do want to note that I am standing up the line in terms of where we are. If you didn't know, the mound to the plate happens to be, I believe, 60.5 or 62.5 feet.
Is it really? But we're not going geometric.
60
what is
feet,
this?
6 inches.
Yeah, 60.
Is it really?
60.5.
60,
so the fact that you said 60 right there, I was like, I do want to point out that I am slightly up the the right baseline. Could be the first baseline.
Well, you're timing that, since it's not a real baseball game. You don't have to worry about the third baseline coming in, right? Or the third home. You're kind of up front timing out these. So I feel like, you are within 60 feet.
That is funny to think that a baseball pitcher would be slightly out of range for most mid-range spells.
Yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah. So you can absolutely do it. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to insult this creature. And what is going to happen is they're going to do a wisdom saving throw. And if they fail it, then they're going to receive their 2d4 psychic damage, as well as have disadvantage on the next attack roll, which would be disadvantage on the next pitch. So he's going to now throw, so you're going to come up to the plate. By the way, this goes without a hitch, so you're able to do it. And he is now...
Is Perry still actively on fire?
Perry is still actively on fire. He's kind of taking off. And as he's and you're also not in the zone of magic yet. So as he's kind of tamping it out, once again, you feel this rhythmic 4/4 going that we all know and love. Ooh. And you are hitting your insults in almost a perfect cadence, where as he's batting it, he's hearing his own hit, not your insults. But Garbo is taking him in. Also, this is the guy from the Crimson Hosiery. He's not gonna take no lip. He did not do hot. Did not do hot. What is your saving throw? So it says save DC on Charisma. I think it's a 14.
Spell save DC?
Yep.
Is 14, correct.
Ooh. So he did not make it. So he is going to take... so could you please roll 2d4? You can just roll your twice. And it's the top number on that pyramid. Sorry,
it's the
pyramid.
triangle.
Yep. All right. That's a 1.
1? 2.
2... Oh, like 1 and 1 or 1 then 2?
1 then 2.
Okay, so 3 total damage. Okay, he's hurting. You know that goblins are really not meant... They're pretty squishy. and you have successfully have hurt his feelings. Throughout the hard exterior, there is a caramely soft center in the middle of this goblin.
I'm starting to feel really bad about this.
And he is not
you
only...
You could have killed him, I think.
Yeah, you really easily could have. Which is funny, because that's what I was like, oh yeah, I'll go through. But so now he has disadvantage on his pitch to you. He is also feeling horrible from the string of insults that you just slain at him.
Is there a helpline that they can call?
Oh no, they're expendable. These, Garbo Lacey is really Garbo Lacey the 16th. The other 15 didn't do too hot.
He also is very confused because you came up to him earlier in the match trying to
Garbo,
shake his hands. Now you're just berating
Garbo,
him.
I love you. Garbo, your mother is a huge slut. How can you do this?
Dorothy B. Mantooth is insane.
So you can come up with names for random goblins.
No, but that's
Mantooth is her fourth husband.
Yeah,
So.
no, that's from Anchorman, where he's like, I'm gonna take your mom to a nice seafood dinner and never call her again.
Yeah.
He's like, Dorothy P. Mantooth is insane. I don't know why. I just know movie quotes. That's all I got. So, with that being said, now you're up to bat, and I mean, no matter what he rolls, it's gonna be a dinger for you. Meaning, it's gonna be easy. Yeah,
I'm on 20.
Yep.
13.
Plus your 1 for the bat, so that's going to be 14. And then you're using dexterity, right?
Dex?
Yep.
So I'd be 23.
So it's going to be 14 plus 3. It's just plain dex. Because he did the calf to help him out with proficiency. Gotcha. So we'll just say that yours is straight up plain. Yep. But regardless, what was that? It was a 17?
17.
Total? Great.
Correct.
All right, so now can you please roll a d10? You can use the other one. It's a little bit easier to read. That's the percentile dice. That's like your 10 spot.
Okay.
Yep.
5.
Ooh. Okay. So, you needed actually 7 plus there. So
Can I intervene here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So seeing that he didn't quite make perfect contact.
But I didn't resolve what I was going to say, so Ben can do this. Normally, like, if
you're like, oh, you rolled a...
I'm also not a thing. I want to see what Ben does, because generally, what's Fletch do?
So it looked like he made pretty good contact, but I can see it. I have a good eye.
Yeah.
Right? You're an elite archer. I can see it kind of falling short of the fence. Can I unleash an arrow to try to give it that extra 10 feet?
Can I cast invisibility on his arrow so that it's undetectable?
Wow!
Wow!
So I love it. I absolutely love it.
Perry is still on fire.
Yeah. So Perry is on fire. I will say you're gonna have to do a deception roll with that because you are in the batter's box. So that's a high enough level spell where it's gonna trigger a little bit. But I think you're gonna be okay. So I think the first thing you're gonna do is let's resolve this really quick. Ben, let's have you roll straight dexterity. Do attack actually. Yeah. Can you do an attack with your bow?
Yeah.
And maybe long bow because it's gonna.
The ball.
Yeah, it's got to be long bow probably. Yeah. And they're reusing baseballs. You know what I mean? So they don't. It's all right.
23.
Yeah, that hits. All right.
Can we have that book too? I mean,
yeah. So can you do your first deception roll?
D what?
Sorry. D1. Sorry, D20. Okay. And then up top in the skills, there's gonna be deception. I think you have a +9.
I do.
Because you're trying to deceive all the. You've seen a lot of deceptions through all these record labels,
the music label
and everything.
The contracts. Yes, yep. I'm well aware.
Perfect. So roll that out.
Fuck!
Oh,
God damn it! 1.
Oh, man!
So +9 is
okay.
+9 is 10.
Let's see what happens. It's
so
okay.
That's an auto fail. So.
That's an auto. It doesn't matter if I had +20.
No. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 1's a 1.
Fucking.
So that's awesome though. But you hit both ends of the spectrum. So because you got a 20.
You added a 20.
Oh no! You natted earlier. I was saying like in this playthrough.
You did a 20 earlier. Yeah.
So Joe, you noticed that the second you kind of put your fingers out and you're hitting with the horns and you're trying to cast your spell of invisibility, at that moment the batting box goes red. Fletch has just recently taken out the fire, and he kind of calls you off. He goes, "Nope, whoa! My good man, are you cheating at this loyal and most gracious game that your kings have set apart from you? And in the queen's presence." And at that moment, a jet comes through, burning tons and tons of oil and everything like that. Whatever. Never mind. I'm not trying to make a stance on
Taylor.
Yo, yeah. She's also trying to go from one Coliseum seat to the other Coliseum seat, so she got on her private jet. She's got on her private jet to get into the other one. It's actually, it's a griffin that takes a really amount of hay that's going to, like, basically feed a small village.
Right.
But yeah, it's the hay that goes into the griffin.
Village that could have saved
That's what. Oh my gosh, that's it. That's why they're taking resources. They're just trying to feed the griffin that takes Taylor across. Yeah. All right, we're full circle. So that's perfect. So at that moment, they recognize. They say, we can't. Nope, cheating. Get off the mount. Avengers still have 2 points, but any more tomfoolery, they may be disqualified. But at this moment...
But I hit the ball, right?
You did hit the ball.
Okay.
It does, by the way,
really cool.
go into a home run, but he discounts it. Then, look at that. It looks like it took a surprise trajectory, and it's out of there. Oh, flag on the field. Yeah, I don't know. But you also realize that at this moment, you kind of guys are teetering on potential disqualification. There's been one thing. You also have a feeling that if anything else goes into these bats, at bats, you might feel as if you might want to be a little bit sly. You also feel like you might only just need one more good hit.
All right, Bear, we're sorry. We just got a little excited. Last attempt here is going to be all natural.
He's the kid.
Our boy Thornton.
We call him Paul Thornton Newman at home.
I used to hit rocks with my axe growing up,
Yeah. Well, let's see if you can hit the ball, Garbo. Throw it. And in this moment, Garbo, even though in his very sorry state, you feel like he's throwing a meatball. You know what I mean? It'll be... Unless he rolls an @20, which he didn't. He's throwing an absolute slow one over to you, brother. D20.
Plus, what do I add?
So what do you have? What's your base right now?
13 is the base.
13, so 14 for the bat. And then you're going to do strength, just pure strength.
So 20 total. There's 14 plus 6.
Oh, no, pure strength. She gets +3.
+3, so
17 total. Perfect. So and then at this moment...
saving throw, that's different.
So at this moment, you now need to roll a D10. Oh, so yep. Mark's using the nice gold weird dice that make it look really weird.
5?
6.
You have a feeling deep down in your bones that you literally hit. First off, it looks like it's going yard. It's looking good.
550 feet?
550 feet. Oh. But also, it is going a little bit to the left, almost out of going. And as it looks like it's about to hit the, not goalpost, foul pole. As it's about, I know sports, but as it's about to hit the foul pole, you realize that it literally hits it, but it dings it in. You guys have received the third and final point, and at this moment, Periwinkle goes, "That's the game! Announcer, please!" And at this time, the announcer goes, "It is with great sadness that Garbo is now leaving the Coliseum." And then he literally just, though his health is, still relatively intact, you kind of see him light up one final heater, and at that moment, his head just literally explodes. Garbo is no more. At this moment, the sports announcers off to the side, along with local comedians, are talking and discussing how now the Crimson Hosiery are not looking great for this next season. Everyone's fantasy Goblin Ball, drafts are all messed up. Garbo was the number one pick, much like someone who is also the Chiefs, who did very poorly on my fantasy. I had Christian McCaffrey this year. How you doing? I lost. I literally got 0. I got last place on my first time ever playing fantasy football because of Christian McCaffrey. Basically, what's going to happen with these people with Garbo. So, all Garbo friends around the world, Garbo Lacey, the 16th, is no more. They have a feeling, though, his son, Garbo Lacey, the 17th, is an up-and-comer in the field, and you feel like he's going to be strong. So maybe next year we'll see what he's got involved. But with that being said, Periwinkle grants you guys the next and final tier, because there's, basically like a scoreboard. Most of the people have sought out other means of employment and our planes of existence as they've gone through these games. And you also realize that, you're kind of like this third seed, so you got past the second round. You're now in the grand champion round. It's you versus one other team, but you've noticed that this team only has a singular person on it. Very odd. Very deceiving. So at this point, normally you'd be whisked away to your green room, but Queen Taylor is not having it. She wants this game to go now. And the Griffin, quite frankly, is only have enough fuel to take her to her other island, and it's looking dire. So she wants the games to get going. So at this moment, Periwinkle, with snap of his fingers, all of a sudden, the Goblin field is gone. So now, in the middle, the announcer comes away from the bullpen, which he's been floating on top of, and he's now in the middle of this ring. You notice that I say ring, really, it's a square, almost raised platform with several ropes along the side connecting to the four corners of the platform. The announcer comes in and goes, "Let's get ready to rumble." Everybody starts to cheer. Also, kind of doing this motion with their hands. And for the audio listeners, I am doing a bone saw moving. And at that moment, you realize a hulking stone giant drops from the top ropes onto the center. And the announcer goes, "And in this corner, weighing a whopping 2, on a good day 3 tons, we have the Mean, the Machine, Solid Steel and Sex Appeal, the legendary Randy Savage." And then at that moment, Macho Man's gonna come down, and he's going, "Oh yeah, I've soared with eagles, slithered with the snakes, and been everywhere in between. You're going nowhere." And then you guys now spontaneously erupt into your corner, and at that moment, ding, ding, roll initiative.
Time out. I hope that when the scene changed, the announcer is still Perry, and he is...
Oh, different announcer. This is Perry was never the announcer. Yeah.
It can't be Perry looking like Hulk Hogan now? Perry
No. Perry...
It's the guy that played the Evil Dead, Stan. That's the announcer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys can, let's roll initiative.
Okay, that's a D20?
D20.
22.
Is it D20 unless otherwise noted?
Unless otherwise noted, yep.
Okay.
And this is plus... Oh, your initiative at the top next to AC.
Yep.
Don't fucking roll a 1. God.
Oh!
Suck me! Oh!
Fletch has got a 19. Let's see, I'm probably...
20 plus my 3 initiative.
23.
Ooh.
And Thornton's got a 9.
Oh, no.
You know the worst part?
Wait,
Ben
that
got
a
a 22.
Did he really?
Yeah, but he got an unnatural 22.
Was that a 9 or a 19?
I don't know.
It's actually... I think it's a 19.
That's a 19. If that's what you rolled.
So, you guys are all three going to be going first?
Yeah, there's no way it was a 9. Okay. The 1 was blocked because I rolled it like this. And I saw that... It's a 19. So... But he got the nat 20, so... Therefore, he goes first, right?
I got 23. Ben rolled a 20
22.
Also?
Well, he rolled an unnatural 22.
Okay.
You rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
whatever.
Ben also has plus 3?
Yeah.
He rolled a 19.
So you rolled a 19 probably, yep. Dude, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You're going nowhere. All right, you guys rolled initiative. Crazy. You got a natural 20, natural 23.
I heard yelling.
Yeah, natural 23.
I got
you got a natural 20 and then a plus 3.
20 plus the 3 initiative.
And then you got a 19 plus a 3, so 22. And then Mark got a
19 plus 0 because I've got
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
And he rolled a 3 plus 2, 5.
Oh, okay.
So, take what you will. So, you guys are going first. And so just to make this as theater of the mind and easy as everyone's possible, you are set out, and this is literally like, you know, I don't know what's a standard. Does anyone know what a standard off the top of their dome? WWE square thing?
It's like 12 feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like 12, 15 feet. You guys are close quarters, right? Let's just do 15 for ease of math here. And you guys are rock and rolling with this stone giant, Randy Savage. Actually, we should probably be safe and careful to do. I was gonna do Sandy Ravage just to throw him off, but no, it's Macho Man.
Sandy Ravage, if you aren't aware, does exist. That
Really?
is a very famous YouTuber that was like in the Modern Warfare 2 like era, which is essentially the golden era of YouTube. Yeah. Sandy Ravage was one of the most notorious YouTubers, known particularly for his hunter. Camping hunters. Oh, I'm blanking on it now.
Yeah.
Essentially, the people that would like be in the game that would like use the tac inserts and like they would spawn kill each other for headshots or win.
Yeah.
Spawn campers.
Yeah.
He had a series of just killing spawn campers, and it was like his most watched videos or whatever. So yeah,
Sandy Ravage.
Sandy Ravage exists.
Oh, okay.
So arguably more famous than Randy Savage these days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disgrace the Randy Savage name that much. But
first off, he's just back in Slim Jims. They put his
Really?
name. Yeah,
he's dead. What
no,
are you
I know,
talking about?
but no, there's like the whole like Randy like
They AI'd his voice into Slim Jim.
I don't know if he did that, but no,
so
it's on an actual Slim.
he
He did
did
it years
original
ago.
Yeah.
Slim Jim.
And they brought it back.
Oh yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
I'm gonna snap into you like a Slim Jim.
Exactly. Dude, why am I trying to do the voice? You guys are gold with it. Yeah. No, but basically I think they're going back. But sorry, not enough on Macho Man. So with
By
that
the way,
being said,
it's called the squared circle, and it's 20 feet by 20 feet.
is it 20 feet by 20 feet? Okay, so squared circle, good to know. All right, so 20 feet by 20. So you guys are more than welcome to go. Let's rock and roll. Franklin, you are first. Let's see what's going on.
I think the first thing that I would like to do is I want to make sure that this stone incarceration of
Stone giant.
This stone giant before us of Randy Savage. I would like to know if he has any magical properties. So I would like to use detect magic.
Okay. And you want to do this as a this would be an action of yours, by the way.
Okay.
Yep, just FYI. So yep, you're more than welcome to do that. Yeah.
I think that was pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
but
basically, you sense
whichever
presence
dice-
magic. Yep.
One of the 10 dice is what I need to know.
So it's up to concentration and so there's no even I thought there was a save or anything. No. Okay, perfect. So you notice that when you do detect magic, it's centered around this stone giant Macho Man, but more importantly, it's going to cover everything. It's actually going to cover the whole ring. So when you do that, though, you recognize that from him. He seems to be like this standard melee character. Nothing crazy going on. You do notice that Periwinkle does have a field of magic, much like the batter's box, but a little different, basically causing the boundaries of the ring so you can't escape out of the boundaries. You can get on top of the ropes, do whatever you want to, if you want to do a slamming dive, anything like that, but for all intents and purposes, you cannot leave this ring. Like, you can't interact with the crowd and get a chair from the classic N64 game. It's a classic, but yeah, so you feel like you are bound by this, but yes, that is what detect magic.
Nintendo nostalgia episode.
Yeah, well, Ben was on that one, so yeah. So, but yeah, so that's where you understand.
Okay, is this are we fighting in a cage match?
Oh, big time.
There's a cage around us?
Yes, there is a cage.
Circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's exactly what you think it would be from Bonesaw.
Perfect.
Because there's also a special thing that I gave you as a character.
Then I would like to use my slippers of spider climbing.
Hey, yo. When you saw it in your thing, were you like, why'd you give this to me? Yeah, I was sitting there on that all day.
I would like to use my slippers of spider climbing and walk backwards. I'm assuming that he is across from me.
Yeah, you guys are in two opposite corners.
Right. So I would like to walk backwards up the corner of the ring and then step onto the metal cage around us and walk up into the top right
I love it.
corner of the
Yep.
box.
Perfect.
So that is my movement. And then
You don't have to do a bonus action. Yeah, it's just if you want to. So you've done an action and a movement so far.
I feel like I am out of.
You can do Bardic. You've only used one Bardic.
I've used 2. So I put one on Thornton, who has not used his yet.
Yep.
I put one on Fletch, who has not used his. You didn't use yours when. Maybe because I was batting, and then you shot it with the arrow that I.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the
Pretty
case.
fucked up
Then
on.
you can't give them more.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. So yeah, if they
So you're good to go.
If they haven't used those, then I don't know. My only option I think would be to use Song of Rest, but I don't know if that's.
Oh no,
beneficial or
so you
not.
can't use that now because we're not doing a short rest. So actually, of your bonus action, you're actually all good. So you actually can't do any of your bonus actions at this time. Yeah.
Perfect.
So you're good to go
I'm chilling up in the corner, and I will let
from the top ropes.
Yeah, I'll let the other 2 carry on.
Yeah. All right. So Fletch, what are you rock and roll with?
I am. Fletch is gonna backflip, kind of for no reason, just for flair. Backflip
Important.
into the back corner, kind of. You're in the opposite corner from the giant, right? So kind of below Franklin. Mm-hmm. And he's just gonna pull out an arrow, and use his. He's gonna go for the short bow here, and he's gonna aim for the head.
Golden.
You climbed up with your spider ability, right? Or no?
Yes, I use my slippers of spider climbing.
So Thornton, under his breath, goes, "Fucking elf likes to show off."
But he's not an elf.
Fletch is an elf, right?
Yeah.
Because he backflipped.
Oh,
That's why.
oh.
I was going to say it.
Yeah.
Franklin, but he's.
I thought you were
he's
saying
up
that
the
about.
cage.
Yeah. Nope. You're
I'm
all
gonna
good.
use my bardic here. Okay. 19 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that'll hit. So
Yep.
that will be
What it do, baby?
1d6 plus 5 piercing damage. So 8 piercing damage.
Nice.
All right, and that will vex the target. I use my weapon mastery of the short bow to vex the giant, which means if I hit a creature with a short bow and deal damage, I have advantage on my next attack roll against the creature.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And so I will use my second attack,
Nice.
and I'll attack with the short bow.
Oh yeah, you're a fighter. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But this time I'll use my sharpshooter feat. So I will take a -5 penalty to this attack roll.
Okay.
But if I hit, I will add plus 10 damage.
Nice.
So kind of taking aim. I'm going to aim for the eye this time.
Nice. Yep.
So -5, but I have advantage.
Yep.
-5 to hit. That's a 1. So
Ooh,
we're going to take the
let's
second
do
roll here.
advantage.
It's kind of a
That's 19.
19.
I see it from. I can see it from here. You know what I mean?
So that'll be, well, I don't know. I'm assuming it hits, but that will be a 17 to hit. Or 27 to hit.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's gonna hit.
So 1d6 plus 15 damage. 18.
18. Okay.
Does that hit him in the eye?
Oh yeah, that hits him in the eye.
So
That hits him in the eye.
we don't know his health, right?
You don't know
Until
his health.
his death.
Yep.
You can kind of try to assess how he's doing.
Yeah, so
But-
5e kind of took some of that out. There's some. I'm not gonna get into the mechanics of behind the scenes, but I will let you know if they're like bloodied, meaning they're half their health. Is normally what I like to let
Now,
people know.
A hit to the eye, is he blinded? This is a stone creature, so I don't know if his anatomy quite translates.
Yeah.
the
So
same.
basically, there could be some flavor here where he hit
You know what?
the eye. And...
I do. I'll use a shadow arrow. I will use one of my arcane arrows.
Oh, okay.
So,
that changes things.
Yeah. So a creature hit by this arrow takes an extra 2d6 psychic damage.
Oh, I don't.
6 plus 4, so 10 psychic damage.
Okay, I'll do it.
And must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or be blinded.
Oh, yeah, that will absolutely do it. So,
So I get 2 of these special arrows.
you said
per
wisdom
day.
saving?
Yeah.
Okay. 12. Did I make it?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so he's not blinded. So I hit him like on the tear duct, but he's good to
Wait,
go.
so on your ability, it tells you what the wisdom saving number is?
Yeah, for that one, because I'm not a magic character, but so I have this random magic ability, so it just tells me directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is technically through your other magic abilities, since like through charisma and everything like that. But Ben's is specifically an arrow that's like basically enchanted. No, that sounds perfect. So, Thornton, let's go.
So I have the ability to check the history of any stonework, but I feel like we're fighting and we don't.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
So-
I'm glad you looked that up, but yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I can tell you with certainty you're good. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to go all full lycanthrope here.
Yep.
I'm going to reckless attack and then rage, because rage is a bonus action.
Yeah, you want to rage first and
That's
then
right.
reckless. Yeah.
Oh, I want to rage first.
Yeah,
'cause
get
it's
yourself.
Understood.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm raging.
Yeah, so you can do your bonus action first. It's a weird naming. You would think
Okay.
it's second.
Yeah, no,
you
no,
can
no,
do it
no.
first.
Understood.
Any order of movement, bonus action.
Okay. So obviously going to rage. So that would add. So do I have to roll for a successful rage first, or does that automatically give me my?
Nope, you're already enraged.
Okay.
Yep.
I think you do have to scream, though.
You do.
Okay, so then I get +2 damage to strength.
Yep.
Weapons, resistance. And,
Yeah, I can keep
okay.
all that. All you gotta do is roll, and I'll let you know.
Roll d20, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Roll d20. And what are you attacking me with? Actually, more importantly.
What am I attacking you with?
Yeah. Are you using
My
your
great-
bite? Are you using the claws? Are you using your great axe?
I'm gonna use my great axe.
Yeah, use your great axe. You're good.
+6. It's
Perfect.
Stone cleaver. So, and
Yep.
he's a stone monster.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
So-
Lore-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I've got 16.
Oh,
plus-
you hit.
Plus the general 3, so that's 19. Plus 2 is 21.
Yep. You hit. Yep. But it's not so you have to hit a 21 in order for it to be a crit. Meaning no matter how much you add, you pass 17, doesn't matter, you're good. Unless
Okay,
you rolled a
so-
20 on the die,
Under-
then it's a critical. So just because you got above 20 doesn't mean it's a critical. You have to get 20 on the die.
So the +6 for the great axe, looking at his character sheet, is that
That's
only
just-
affecting when if you hit, you roll a damage roll and you get +6 from that?
No, so basically what he's doing is he's rolling 1d20, and that +6 is to whether he hits or not. And that's going to be your proficiency plus your strength. And that's what you add into what you're going to do to hit.
So
then after you clear that
if you were to
threshold,
do a +3, it would be a +6.
so it's a +6, but he gets it would just be a straight +6.
So he'd get on a 16
So
roll,
it's
he'd get
22.
22. Yep, but you already passed because, by the way, his AC is some lower number than that. So you already hit, so you're good to go.
But do I get so my
So now you're-
rage has a +2 damage to strength weapons.
Yeah, so now what you're going to do is you're going to roll 1d12.
Okay.
And that 1d12, that baseline, you're going to add 3 to it because your strength.
Strength is 3.
And then you're going to add another 2 to it because you're going to do that rage.
So the d12.
Also, you have advantage on strength rolls really quick. Roll another d20 to see if you actually crit. So you already know you hit. We're going to roll advantage now. It's because you're doing a reckless attack.
16.
Okay, nope, you're good to go. Same deal. So, yep, now roll your 1d12, and then you're going to add 5 to it.
7 total.
7 total? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you have an extra attack. So you can do an extra attack now. That's at the very bottom of that character sheet. Sorry, I should mention that out. So you can do an extra attack. You can do the same exact thing. You can do your claws. You can do whatever you want. You can repeat the whole thing.
So the rage is a bonus action, but he can also do an extra attack as a second bonus action?
as a barbarian, he automatically, whenever he does the attack action, he has the option to do an extra attack.
Yeah.
So it's like literally saying, I'm doing my action to attack. As a barbarian, there's a little check that says, wait, would you like to extra attack? And you can just use it in the same action. So it's really not 2 actions, it's 1 action.
Do you only do the extra attack if he were to hit the first one?
Nope, you can use it. You can use both times.
So he hit the first time and
Yep.
he rolled damage.
Yep.
Now he's using extra attack. This wipes the slate clean. So he's doing
brand new
he
attack.
may or may not hit
Like
the
he's
second.
swinging the axe again a whole second time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brand new
It's got-
instance.
yeah, it's good. So, my question is, how far away is this stone monster from me?
Well, you
Within
already ran
20
up, so you had
20
to
feet.
use your melee weapon. So you're within 5 feet of him.
Perfect. Then I'm going to use my tail because I'm within 10 feet. Right?
So that's only for reaction.
Oh,
That's for reactions.
okay.
So I would
Then
just
never mind.
recommend use your stone cleaver again.
Oh, just great
to
axe
attack.
again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can use it as much as you want.
Cleave the shit out of that stone.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's do it. Okay, so that's 11 plus the 6, so that's
Yep,
17.
you're good. Yep, that's all good. And then roll it again because you're doing advantage because you have that reckless attack.
20. Oh! Net 20.
Perfect. That's what you want. That's what you want. So now what you're going to do is you're going to roll 2d12 and you're going to add 5 to those. So you double the dice, you don't double the modifiers. So you're going to roll 2d12 and then add 5.
The 5 is added 1
5
time.
is at the end. Yep.
Okay, that was a 4, so
4.
5. And then
So that's 9 and
plus
then plus another 5, 14.
14.
Way to go,
Solid.
Thornton.
Nice. He's at a funny health right now.
He's at a funny health.
Yeah.
Nice.
69. How you doing? All right, so nice. All right, so with that being said, is it my go? Yeah, everyone went, right? Okay, so he's gonna come in and seeing this brute just really, give it to him. He's now going to take his great club and he's gonna go and attack Thornton.
Oh.
Ooh, does a 26 hit?
You have a bardic inspiration.
Yeah, it's not gonna help him too much. So 26 does hit. I do know Mark's character sheet. Okay.
Because that's based on my AC, right?
Yep. Okay. And it doesn't matter normally, Mark, since you reckless attacked, I would get advantage on you. But since you have adamantine, whatever they call it, I can't do any extra damage to you, so I'm just gonna cancel it there.
Yeah.
So with that being said, his great club is going to be some amount of D something. Okay, that's not bad. That's going to be a 21 damage. He hits hard.
Yes, so
52
minus 21.
Yep. Now he's going to go with the second great axe, same attack. Because he saw, hey, we gotta be a little careful here. At this point, you hit him with a short bow. Right? So the reason why I'm going after Mark at this point is that, so Franklin and Fletch were away from melee. You went to melee for him. So you basically invited him.
Yeah.
Oh, natural 1. He's going to miss. So much so that he's actually going to hit with somehow while he's swinging for you. He just saw the wrath of your stone cleaver. That he went through and he almost basically chop blocked his own knee. Like MCL, ACL, idiot. How you done? So he's going to take, I'm just going to do half of his normal damage. Jeez, that's not good. All right, so he did a number on himself. That's not great. So now that is his turn. He's in a scramble with you. You guys, meleeing out kind of in the center of what I'm imagining is this ring. Now it's going to be your guys' turn. So the first one is to Franklin.
So we don't re-roll initiative. That's just the initiative.
One time.
For the rest of the, okay.
You will always be first.
So for my first bonus action, I would like to cure wounds. I would like to heal Thornton.
Yep, you can do that. Cure Wounds is actually an action, and you have to touch them.
Oh, so I'd have to move first.
Yeah.
It should say either BA or A beside the spell for bonus action or action.
Cure Wounds.
Tony
yep,
wasn't
I got you.
specific?
It's touch.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I wasn't that specific, but
it doesn't automatically do it.
No.
Oh,
we're doing standard PDFs. So yeah. Ben's talking about there's D&D Beyond where you can make characters, and then when you click on those spells, it automatically tells you the 7 things.
Is that what yours is?
Yeah.
So Cure Wounds is it's touch, so you do have to be physically with him.
Okay. Well, I feel that even at the worst chances for Thornton to be double attacked again, that he would survive. So instead of curing wounds, I will use my movement to move down into the ring just behind Thornton. And I would like to use my rapier to attack Randy Savage.
So same thing with Mark. You're just going to roll a d20. You're going to add 6 to it, and then I'll let you know if it hits the AC or not.
Now, why am I adding 6?
Because you have dexterity, because it's a finesse weapon.
Okay.
So you have a +3 in dexterity, and you're also proficient in rapiers. So that means you get another +3, so 6 total.
Okay.
So you're good to go. Good
Anything but a 1. Come on. Fuck.
What is it?
That's a 3. So
9 total.
9 total.
No, not gonna do it. You basically do a very heroic jab, and it just kind of clinks off his stone skin, leaving maybe a slight pebble be a little dislodged from him, but no noticeable damage.
Okay, so that is my movement and my action.
Yep. And so for bonus actions, really not much.
I was gonna say spells or actions. They're not bonus actions.
Spells are actions. Some of them are bonus actions, but I don't think any of the ones I gave you were bonus actions. I know for a fact, actually, none of them are bonus actions.
Correct. And because they both have bardic actions currently
Yeah. You can't use
unused, I can't use...
I used mine.
Oh,
to
you
hit
did?
last
Oh,
time.
yeah, so you can get
I
back.
could cast a bardic action on Fletch.
Yep, maybe.
Okay.
Yep, probably be good.
Then yes, I will say I will go ahead and use bardic inspiration
Nice.
on Fletch, refreshing his bardic inspiration.
Get that vein popping out again.
Nice.
I need to wait another turn because I really wanted to use the the vicious mockery. Shit. Okay, so I will cast bardic inspiration. I don't think that
No, it's just
requires
a bonus
roll.
action. Nope, you're good.
Okay, so I am standing slightly behind Thornton as I end my turn.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
So then
Fletch, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep. So I, seeing that kind of Thornton is embattled, I'm going to run up and try to give him a hand. So I'm going to kind of go kind of the opposite side of Franklin. So I imagine Franklin's kind of a little bit to the right, so I'm going to come a little bit to the left.
I was actually a little bit to the left.
Okay, so, Fletch, right, left. He's never
Semantics.
he puts his hands up in front of him. It's like, I meant right. Okay, I meant right. So he goes up to the right and pulls out his long sword and kind of swings kind of around Thornton to strike the giant. 13.
What?
10.
Oh, I thought it was an 18. Sorry.
I will use my bardic.
Yeah, probably.
It's a D8.
D8.
Okay. 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll hit.
So I'm going to hit with the longsword. That will do 1d8 slashing. So 5 slashing.
Actually, you slasher.
Nice.
And I am also a weapon master with longswords.
Ooh.
So that will sap the giant. If I hit a creature with a longsword, that creature has a disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of my next turn.
Dang. So how much was that? Sorry. 8.
5 slashing.
5 slashing.
Yeah. And then we'll actually go in with the dagger for my next attack.
Yep. For extra attack.
Yeah, for the extra attack. So this will be a +6 to hit. An 18.
That'll hit.
18 hits.
That'll hit.
And 1d4 plus 3 piercing. 7 piercing.
Okay.
And I'm also a master in daggers. So that will...
He's got doubles his advantage.
This one doesn't apply. Okay,
Okay.
never mind.
Nope. That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, rock and roll, Thornton.
Yeah, let's do it. So 10 rounds. This is only round 2, right? So I'm still.
Yeah,
in
you're.
range.
Oh my gosh, you're.
Yeah. Okay.
Bite might be good because I think you restore health.
Yeah. So that's.
Are you half health right now?
No.
not quite.
Yeah.
So no. Yeah. So it doesn't help. So
Honestly, your biggest damage output
Claws.
is the claws are good. Really, what you're tempting since you have advantage is just that 1d12. That's going to get you pretty solid with your stone cleaver. If you want to try claws, you're more than welcome to, because the claws will give you 2 attempts on 1d6, which is good. You're kind of separating
I
it
understand
out.
what you're saying.
But yeah. On average, you're going to get better.
Yeah. So I mean, we just gotta stick with the stone cleaver. I'm right there.
Yeah.
I'm staring Randy down.
Yeah, but I
Down
love
the
it.
barrel,
I love it as you guys are looking for more, because normally with barbarians, like, you have your one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You just
Grind.
keep cranking.
Yeah.
Okay. So D20.
D20. You get 2 of them actually. So.
Okay. Well, that was a 1.
All right. Roll. Probably got to do a little bit better.
6.
Plus another 6, 12.
Correct. So 12 total.
Does not hit.
Yeah.
So you can do your extra attack and do the same thing.
17.
That'll hit. You roll again just to see if you get 20.
11.
Take the 17.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you're going to go. So do some damage. So this time you're going to do 1d12 plus your 3 plus the 2, so 1d12 plus 5.
Just one or less, right? Just one or two? I do 2 and then plus 5.
No, just one. One die this time because you didn't crit.
Got it.
Yeah,
Understood. 15 total plus 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nope, that's all good. Well, he is not looking great. Not looking great at all.
Still alive.
Still alive. He's hanging in.
You can
He's
deliver
hanging
the
in.
final
Is he
blow.
dusting? Is he dusting yet?
He's
Does that mean
dusting.
dust
He's
coming out?
dusting hard. Yeah, that's bloodied. He's bloodied hard.
I
So
forgot he's gotta fight us.
he's now gonna hit Thornton because once again you're all within me. Like, well, you're short sword too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first one's going to go to Thornton.
He does have disadvantage on his first attack.
Oh, nope. He's gonna have a 14. Oh wait, no, it's 14 hit.
14's his armor class.
Yeah,
That
so
meets
I-
a beats. Meets a beats.
Yeah.
So my tail,
Oh, as a
Right,
reaction. You
which
use
I
reaction.
didn't do last time, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it now, though.
Yep, good call. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Use your reaction. By the way, no matter what you
it's a
roll,
D8.
he's gonna miss. So
So it's a D8.
you don't have to roll, but you could roll for fun.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, why
Yeah.
not? This is the D8.
The tail's a
Yeah, it is.
reaction.
Yeah, reaction. So there's a weird other action in there. You have movement, you have bonus action, and then when something happens to you, there's potential of reactions. So
Yeah, reactions have to be triggered by something else happening.
that's why I don't like bringing them up in the beginning because it's
4,
very
so-
circumstantial. You're good to go.
Yeah,
So that means like, as your AC, so that really makes you a 18.
Yeah,
and
and-
that makes me miss.
Yeah.
So perfect.
How
and
often can you do that? Is it any?
just reaction. So he uses reaction technically.
So yeah, once a round.
Once a
That's
round.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good. That's why Beast is so strong. Wow, that was literally a 20. It went back on 2. 11
doing?
for 11 on you there, Fletch.
Oh no, I dodged that.
All right. Well, nope. He's garbage. He's looking at
Too
Garbo
quick.
being like, ooh, maybe I'm. With that being said, though, we're good to go. So now it's up top of your guys' round. So Franklin.
Perfect. I'm still technically within range. I am going to use Vicious Mockery.
Nice.
That will, from what I read, insult them, forcing an attack at disadvantage.
Yep. And then I got to do a wisdom saving throw.
And you have wisdom saving throw, correct?
19 against your 14.
I
Yeah.
imagine that's going to save.
Yep. That's going to save.
So, do I even get to say what my...
You could say it. It's just not going to affect him. I think he's so bloodied at this point where he's just like, dude, I can't handle
He's got
you.
pebbles in his ears.
That's,
can't
that's fair.
handle
He won't hear when I tell him, that's a nice outfit. That's a nice outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Got him.
Is he wearing anything?
Just
like a cloth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standard cloth.
Nice.
Okay. With that being said, now let's go
Fletch.
to Fletch.
Yeah.
I can still use a movement, correct?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah. Okay. More than welcome.
Just for the sake of that I am near... Oh, no, I can't use that because that's also an action. I can't cure...
Oh,
wounds.
no. Yep. Nope.
Neither of them used a bardic.
No, not yet.
No, you did. Didn't you?
He gave it back though already. So
Yeah,
I haven't
so you're
used my
filled.
second one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
What infinite bardic or how does that work?
No, you're good. Yeah, you've expended the amount of bardics that anyone can grab.
Okay, so then I will just use my movement.
Yep.
And I will move back
up
to
to
the top corner.
Love it.
Just out of the way of danger.
Yep, perfect. Fletch.
Yeah. So I'm in melee range, I think, right?
Yes, you are very much so.
Because you're to my right.
I am going
right.
to. I'm going to try to disengage. Well, I'm not going to take the disengage action. I'm going to move, and I'm going to risk the opportunity attack here. Sorry, you got an opportunity attack?
No.
No.
Oh, you're saying attack of opportunity.
try to jump back
Sorry.
to attack from
Yes, I
range,
would like
yeah.
to do that. To do that. I will do my club. 19.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. And
So he gets to hit you because you're moving back?
yeah, because he was in melee and he's like disengaging, but he didn't use the disengage action. Normally, you can do an action disengage, which means like I don't take any attack of opportunity.
So you didn't get to use it at an attack of opportunity against me for moving back?
No, because you didn't hit. You were behind Mark, but you weren't hitting or anything. Like
Yeah,
you didn't
weren't-
engage with him.
You were in melee. engagement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a 20.
So I will jump back to the other side of the ring, and I will attack with my short bow.
Nice.
26 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Okay.
That's gonna hit.
1d6 plus 5 piercing. So 11 piercing damage.
Oof. Okay, he is very not looking great.
And I am going to aim for the forehead again. I'm going to sharpshoot here. So I'm going to take the -5 to my hit, but plus 10 damage if I do hit.
Perfect.
But it's with advantage here because I hit him with the short bow. So he's vexed.
Golden.
12 on the first one. 17 minus 5 plus 3. So 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. So then we'll do...
I thought that was damage. I was like, what?
Damn.
1d6 plus 15.
Oh, my goodness.
21 damage.
Okay, well, he is definitely not looking good. More than not looking good. Is that it?
No, I'm going to take my bonus action to Second Wind here. So I can draw upon a limited well of physical and mental stamina and regain 1d10 plus 5 hit points.
Oh, nice. So you're healing up.
Yeah.
So
you see me just take an extra breath here.
While Fletch is healing up, I think it is now Thornton.
All right, Stone Cleaver. Let's see if this deals the final blow here.
Pluses alone will deal the final blow.
11?
11, yep.
Plus 6, that's 17.
Yep. I roll this again, though.
Yeah.
Your advantage, yeah.
That's a 19.
Yep. So you're good. You hit. Roll your d12.
Yep. D12's next, and that's that
You
one.
said plus 5?
Yep, plus 5.
7.
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
How do you want to deal this killing blow, Thornton?
Stone Cleaver, I want to jump in the air and chop him down. This.
Wow, so scissors really does cut rock.
I'm cleaving him in half. Yeah.
Symmetrically?
Yeah.
Like
as you can with
Tom Cruise, you're going to split his center tooth?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice reference.
I'm a blacksmith. I know dimensions. I'm going right down the stone center, all right?
No, and at this moment, the crowd absolutely roars, and the announcer, seeing these perfectly halved stone giant, is just bewildered. The grand champion just got lost. The Avengers won. They've won the games. And at this point, Periwinkle goes, "Oh, why? Because I knew, good man, I knew you could do it. Please, a flagon of ale on me in the taverns if you join, of course." And he's going to politely ask you for this moment of victory royale. You guys have some champagne coming your way, coming up, and just much like a NASCAR race, you guys are just kind of basking in the glory where noblemen and women are just chanting your name. They're claiming because this was an upset of the century. You've made several members who were really betting the odds very, very lucky people today because you guys were really, even though you're third seed, they still didn't expect this because Randy Savage has yet to lose the games. And there is a fateful flower now that came out of Randy Savage that is now to the Avengers. He says, "Buy Zora. And he's very happy. Oblivion, yeah, let's go.
I know.
All right, so, but buy Zora. And now you guys have a big fan now, following in your footsteps. Now, normally one-shots are very encapsulated. I feel like that's a great point to leave off right here, just in case if we ever, do this again. We definitely should, whether it's on or off the podcast. But regardless, at this point, for your characters, you have won the games. You have gained favor not only with the court wizard Periwinkle, but additionally with overall, you kind of have a lot of pull now with the locals. They now see you as these heroic group. They don't know much about you because you guys are all kind of a bunch of misfits with not a lot of background. So, at this moment, the inspiration of winning is, definitely all over you guys. You're toted on everything, and you're kind of carried across the Coliseum as champions. And at that moment, a cloaked figure hiding his face. And for whatever reason, even though you're still kind of detecting some magic here, Franklin, you feel as if there's some necrotic energy about this individual. You seem to have gained his favor as well as caught his eye. It seems as if you're one step closer to finding your father. But that step is not going to be taken today, boys. I'm so happy. Thanks, guys, for coming. This is fantastic. This is the one shot. This is it. Now, granted, it does leave into a 2-shot because I left a cliffhanger, but you'll have that because we couldn't possibly resolve everything. I think we're at like 3 hours, so there's no way we're going to resolve everything. And I wanted to make sure you guys saw the mechanics, saw fighting, everything like that. Really quick, let's just go around, around the room. How you guys feeling? Everything like that. How was it? And then I think we should wrap it up. But I do want to hear your thoughts and maybe for some listeners to look back at it. How does it feel? First time opening up character sheets all the way to the end of the one shot.
I would like to open it up and just say, understanding the character sheets to begin with, getting that base knowledge so you kind of know what you have in your repertoire, then getting faced with some of the unique challenges that our dungeon master, Tony, presented. It could have gone 100 different ways, especially on how we rolled. But the fact that you're able to kind of just, depending on what the rolls are, kind of roll with the punches. If, it's just incredible to like kind of understand, we could have crushed that home run derby, or we could have really struggled against the Stone
Randy
Savage. It's like it could have gone a lot of different ways. We got very lucky in some instances, we got very unlucky in others, and that's kind of the fun of it, of just being able to, you have to adapt whichever way it goes. So that to me was a lot of fun, and being able to recognize there are certain instances or chances for your character especially to have a chance to succeed. And if they fail miserably, they fail miserably. But just that opportunity there is a lot of fun if you're able to recognize it early on and go for it. I had no idea when we had the sphere, the leather object, which I still don't.
It's a glove. So originally,
I thought
it was a pitcher's glove.
I thought it was golf. It's funny because I rolled the absolute dog shit history perception.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny that to my character it made no sense. He couldn't pick up anything. And then to me even, I couldn't understand what it was. And then finally Mark explained it, who rolled like a nat 20 or something.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's absolutely this, and it's baseball. And I was like, oh, that made so much more sense.
But it is funny because, like, sorry, a quick interruption. It is funny, though, because depending on who you talk to, like, a good example is someone's like, hey, imagine a taco. Some people imagine soft tacos. Some people imagine hard tacos. Like, when I say club to me, it is always a Hill Giants club. It's a physical,
like a bludgeoning weapon.
Yeah, but for most people, when they say club, I can see where golf came in, because you're going, oh, golf club. Like that makes way more sense. Like, I didn't mean to go that, and I didn't think, because you have a driver's glove. Like, you know what I mean? Like your golf glove, or what do you want to call that, when you drive. So it's like,
I will say, when you first said club, I also envisioned a golf club. But putting myself in the D&D world in the medieval time, then I asked the question: is it like a Neanderthal club? That
helped you.
I changed my mindset to that.
But I didn't appreciate that when I was writing it. I was like, oh wait, I didn't even mean to do that double switch on you. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. But even though we're taking the break here in the pod, I was like, I'm ready to sit here and spend another 6 hours on a useless weekend and just flesh the whole thing. This is a ton more fun than I imagined. And Tony presenting the character sheets initially, because my character as a bard was quote unquote a spellcaster, it was a lot more intimidating to begin with. But I made a couple little notes on what each spell was, or what some restrictions were, and it made it a lot more manageable for me to even kind of on the fly think, oh, maybe I could use this here. And I always have to ask, is this action allowed? Because I don't know the rules, like you said. Yeah. But in order to be able to figure out what isn't allowed, it's a lot of fun to throw that stuff out there, and if it sticks, it sticks, and if it doesn't, it's just really an enjoyable process of learning. So no, I'm very happy with how this turned out. It's a lot of fun. I can see how people do this
for hours on
sessions
end.
and sessions and sessions, not just for one shots, but for longer campaigns in general.
I'll never forget I could not explain this to my parents. I'm going to go after band on a Friday night football game. I'm going to go to my buddy's Collins. We are going to play a board game. And they go, great. I said, all right, sounds good. So and then the next day, either spend the night. I normally would spend the night and then come back home. And then they're like, oh, what'd you do? I was like, oh, we played the game. They're like, dude, you're there all night. I'm like, yeah. Like, you played the single game the whole time? I was like, yeah, I was probably up to like 4 a.m. They're like, that's like 8 hours. What were you doing? I was like, D&D. And they're like, wait. It was like so hard to explain to them that like, if you get a good enough group or an interesting enough framework, you could really get sucked in for hours and hours and hours. And like, that's why I wanted to make sure it wasn't too combat heavy, because that kind of gets drawn, or, you know what I mean? You kind of have to keep them on their toes. So I'm really glad you noticed that. But also the fact that you're like, dude, I could go for a couple more hours. Like, that's the excitement I want people to have when playing D&D. And Ben, I think you probably the same way, like as a player and also DM at some point, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of feel the same way there? I mean, as the experienced one of the bunch as well?
Yeah, no, I think you guys did a great job just jumping in. It can be very intimidating. I think Tony made some great decisions, kind of giving you guys your character sheets and giving kind of a brief overview beforehand.
Yeah.
And then dove into some pretty interactive situations. The major things I saw is like one of the biggest things that can make it the most fun is like just embracing the failures, right? Because you think it's like a game, right? And we're rolling dice. The dice always have to be high, but like it can be almost more fun when you fail at stuff, because you're never gonna. It's not a game over, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna hit a game over screen or whatever. Like you failed a dice roll, and sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes it's really interesting. Often it puts Tony on his toes to like figure out what that means when you like. When the giant misses, crit fails swinging a club or something like that. So that's really cool. Like, I mean, perfect example was like wanting to cast vicious mockery on the baseball pitcher, like in a non-combat situation. Just that, like asking saying like, can I do this? It's like, yeah, dude, that's
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's kind of a framework, but it's almost when you start pushing the boundaries of the framework, or just like when you get so involved and so engrossed that you kind of forget there's that framework, and you're just like the character. You're like, I want to insult this pitcher right now and see what it does to him, right? It's gonna throw him off his game.
Yeah,
that's when it's really at its peak, because then you're just like you're just like in it.
Yeah, and I like how you guys, I think, quickly got it, where like the framework is there to present you with rules, but this is your world, you're living in it. Like the Stone Cleaver, like that's amazing to think back on that and like use it as intended for literally as a stone giant comes at you. It's like those are the little things that like hit those points where I'm like, oh, this is super exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mark, what was your thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, exactly. It was great. Like Joe said, I mean, this was a perfect first go at this, and I actually got a little upset when you said, all right, guys, so I think we're going to leave our characters there. I'm just like, it hasn't been that long. And then you're right. It has been about 3 hours. So
one of us has to edit this, Mark.
Yeah.
No,
and I'm definitely interested in trying to pick up where Thornton, Fletch, and Franklin go.
Yeah.
But, I had a great time. And we were talking earlier, and I definitely, like Joe said, understand why people go hours and hours.
Can you imagine why we do the year-long campaigns now? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know multiple years, like I was saying. Like, I know, like I said, Paul has gone multiple years with some of his old high school buddies, like 5 years plus. And I don't know if I could do that, but...
Yeah, like, and with his, they're actually changing a lot. So it's not the same campaign. He's just with the same group. They've been playing for 5 years. That's the other thing, too. I will say, like, the max I had was, like, with you guys, it was, like, a year and a half was, like, a good sweet spot where it's, like, you're kind of covering everything you want. You're hitting a lot of the story points. Like, for example, like, all you guys had, like, these arcs that I would have, like, if I was taking this as an actual campaign, they'd be individual arcs. Like, this would have been, Franklin's arc right now. We're trying to find the necromancer. What's going to happen? And then he gets the necromancer. Then all of a sudden the next arc is like, maybe, Fletch did kill your mom. What does that do to the party? How does that make you feel? Like there's so many interdynamic connections that you can do, not only with the world, but with either players as well. That's why these long campaigns are good, but sometimes you can over squeeze, you know what I mean, and get enough juice out where you're like, okay, after a year, come on, you know what I mean, we got this.
Right.
So,
but yeah, no. Long story short, I had a great time. Definitely would do another one shot or a longer campaign.
Careful what Doers for.
I will say though.
One of us.
I will say, Tony, though, since both of our mothers listen to this podcast, may need to warn them about the expletives before.
Yeah.
And then
I'll put it in the thing.
But it's also funny because, like, although I didn't play D&D in high school, Tony's father and my father are very, very similar. So, especially if we get to this granular, I would say nerd shit.
Yeah.
This would be an episode that neither of our fathers would listen to.
Yeah, he would say talking tree movie and call it a day.
But there was baseball.
Yeah.
You're right. That was the most, like, that's what I was trying to do. I was like, maybe I can make this more accessible if I add more tropes that are going to be more understood, right? I just also recently watched Gladiator. Whoa, what's going on there? You know what I mean? And so adding that thing on too. And I think D&D as a DM is a lot of fun because it's like little things that make the connection points. It's almost like its own drug. Like I said, like as I was writing into like 1 a.m. last night, this one shot, and doing everything, it was like as I hit these like connection points, and as you guys were sending me backstory notes, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is perfect. And it like it's so satisfying to write that stuff out, and it's also very satisfying, I would assume, to the players as well, as you guys are playing this out, understanding what the world's going on, and like, hey, I made this character sheet, or I have this character sheet in front of me. How am I going to operate in this? And as you guys get more comfortable operating in the world, it's like really satisfying. It really itches that part of your brain. I don't know. At least that's how I feel, when I do it. But I've also been more of a DM than a player, so some days I'm like, man, I maybe be a player a little bit more. But no, it's super fun. I still love DMing, especially this is my favorite part, bringing new people in. So,
do you ever miss playing, Tony?
It really depends. I'll be honest. There's something nice about being a DM. Selfishly, it's like, well, okay, so selfishly, you kind of have a little bit more control, but at the same time, actually, that's the one thing I don't like about being a DM. Like, my hardest part about doing all this was I was like, I want Joe and Mark, Ben, I already know, I know his gameplay, but I was like, I want you guys to have a fun time, experience the rules and everything like that, but also, like, it's almost like a fear. You want everyone else to have fun. You're not looking after your own fun. So I've learned really quick, like, as a DM, that the more I would plan, the more I would find myself like, I'm now worried so much about you guys, how you guys feel and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Where like, oh, are they going to like this? Are they going to like this? Where I started to find that if I do bullet points and hitting frameworks, that's so much more fun to me because now I can ad lib with you guys. Like, I'll be honest, like, what I think is going to be really fun is if you, at one point, maybe we'll talk about this next episode or maybe an episode, you can look at my D&D, you can literally look at my notes, and you'll be shocked at how, like, little, but how much thought went into, like, each point, and I think that's just over years and years of DMing, where I think when you first start DMing, you really miss being a player, but after you flex that muscle enough, you kind of, like, yeah, it's fun being a player, because you don't have to think that much, you can just go in and just all-out roleplay, but at the same time, too, I don't know. You kind of miss it, you miss that muscle, so.
I was just gonna say, another part of that you had talked about early on was like, oh, I don't want this to be another like, oh, you guys meet at a tavern sort of. That is an entirely new experience to Mark and I. Mm-hmm. So like anything you come up with at all, whether it be the home run derby or the stone giant Randy Savage or anything in between. None of it is anything we've ever experienced.
Yeah.
So, like, other than Ben kind of knowing, like, how certain things or certain interactions are, like, meant to go or usually go, everything in there, Mark and I are experiencing for the first time as first-time D&Ders, at least in the one-shot experience. So, it's a ton of fun for us to think, like, is specifically in the green room where you're like, do you guys want to interact with anything?
Yeah, I was kind of feeding you a little bit. I was like,
it was perfect because I was like, I have no idea what I am supposed to interact with.
Yeah.
And even for the other characters who had rolled higher on some of those throws than I did on that particular one, and it was like it was a lot of fun to like. It really tweaks your brain to think, okay, I have a set limit or set, available skills that I'm able to use, but how am I able to tweak the way that I'm kind of, my perception is of what's in front of me to actually be able to use them?
Yeah.
And so that to me was a lot of fun to kind of keep that in the back of my mind of what's available and what I can use at certain instances throughout what we experienced. Some of them didn't work out well. Some of them did.
That's where it gets the most fun.
Most of them did not.
Yeah.
But it really was a lot of fun for me to keep that always in the back of my mind, because it really keeps things fresh, especially because everything we experience is a new experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like the next time, I mean, obviously, if this is a second go around of this one, but if we do a new one, I feel like we need the tavern, I'm doing quotes, experience, so we can be like we're real D&D players.
Yeah,
You do. You need the cliche.
Normally,
we will be hitting the mead quite hard.
Yeah. The
I think the problem Tony faces, sometimes that first tavern, it takes like 3 hours.
No,
just to
that's
meet,
why you
just
have to
because you
avoid
can get
it.
so involved with
Yeah.
it's like who are you, and you tell each other your backstories, and it's a lot of fun. But it can take like a whole series or a whole session just to like all the characters meet each other. But it is a really fun experience just to like, you introduce each other to each other, and then you can like, you get to react in real time. It's like, oh, like you're a lawful character? Like, no, like I'm a bandit. Like I'm literally on the run from the from the Kingsguard, but like I'm not gonna tell you that because
literally like exactly like your introductions was like equivalent to like the tavern meetup, but I didn't have enough time. So normally in one shots, you don't do the tavern because it takes too long. You're literally like, I'm here to kick butt and chew bubblegum. I'm all out of bubblegum kind of deal. Like it's supposed to be made to be a dungeon dwelling. I'm just trying to kill, move on, solve puzzle, move. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah. So I wanted to get more of that. But the other thing too is that if you're more experienced, you can kind of get role playing out of that because you kind of know where your beats are. But with you as new players, if we did the tavern, we would have been stuck there the whole time. Mm-hmm. And also, if I introduced a lot of characters, that's why I try to keep my character list like unbelievable. I would have definitely, if we were in a other campaign, I would have definitely changed things up. But I also didn't want to derail you guys so much because sometimes that exposition or that talking or that everything, like it just kind of it's good for the moment, but for a podcast and for you guys to experience it the first time, I kind of wanted a little bit more jumpy. But no, absolutely, that'd be something that it's like it's a rite of passage. Mm-hmm. Like literally going to the tavern, they call it 5 feet episodes or 5 feet sessions, where literally you spend the whole 6 hours of your session and you as a player only move 5 feet or less. Yeah. So the tavern's a good example where someone comes in, blah blah blah, this happens, that happens, I get this gossip and that gossip, and then you find yourself kind of getting into that. So no, it's something that normally I would absolutely highly recommend to everybody who ever plays D&D, but for a one shot, especially for a one shot podcast, we had to cut it out. But
okay, so I do have a couple more questions. Ben, have you ever been the DM? And answer that first.
Yeah, no, I've never DM'd, and
really?
Tony, I've heard you a bunch of times. I would gladly DM a session that you played.
Really?
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve the break. And I would love to DM, especially coming, from improvisation background and stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So.
No, dude, if you're ever curious, I would 1,000. I'd love to be a player with you.
Yeah, I'd come steal all your books, and you can just we'll swap seats.
Easy, absolutely. Yeah, and I will say, Ben in my book, and not just because he's here, I would say this. I actually asked Jenna. When we're done, we can walk upstairs. You can ask Jenna, but no, this is honest to God truth. Of all the people I've ever played D&D with, Ben and I hit such a similar play style, chord, framework, how we approach D&D. It's so like-minded that whenever Ben's in a session, it's literally one of those things where I'm like, I call it unicorn, but it is true. It's just like, oh my gosh, like it'd be so much fun. Like it's easy to role play with Ben. It's easy to toss that. I know that if I toss that ball over the net, Ben's gonna hit it out of the park, and I just hope that I can pick it back up and carry the story along. So it's true. I mean, really. I mean, I almost awkwardly lean on him almost too much during some of our sessions because I know that he's going to deliver. So
yeah, which is awesome. And I really appreciated Ben getting into character right in the beginning because I didn't know how this was going to go.
Yeah.
And as soon as he did, I'm like, okay, so this is actually how this goes.
100% agree. Picking up off of the cues from Ben initially, he's like, oh, so Ben in character is conversing or commenting on the situation or something that the Dungeon Master presented. At least made me, and I'm sure Mark, very quickly realize, this is something that's like everyone can do, and it's not like we're sitting here waiting for the DM to propose a question or a problem, and then we have to like just answer with a solution. No, we're able to like actually interact, not just with each other and make side comments, but also on the problems presented, be able to acknowledge whatever's in front of us or whatever we've already discussed. So it's like that was a very fun thing that at least I picked up on initially. It's like, we can actually talk to each other and banter essentially about the stuff that's in front of us. So that made it a lot more fun and easier to transition into, especially something I've never personally done. Playing like, a character that's not me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you guys didn't fall into like, as new players, it's all good, but I've literally played sessions where it's like the mother may I. It's like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And it's like, that's okay to ask. And also it's like, okay, my character does this. And that's like okay to say, but then also like to never talk in your character. Like, it's almost like a DM's worst nightmare. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I can't be sitting here doing voices the whole time, man. You know what I mean? Like,
so I try to oi, and lawyers are typically Scottish.
Exactly. Right? So that's why
great. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys picked up on that because I didn't want to tell you that right off the bat. I really honestly wanted to see your genuine reactions. That's why once again Ben came in and I was like, oh, this is gonna be perfect because he's gonna come in, hit it out of the park, get right into character. It's gonna make you guys feel comfortable too. So it's gonna be perfect. So I was really glad about that. And Bo, I'm not discouraging asking questions to your DM, but if that's always your mode of action, you're always playing in third person, it's like, no, this is a role-playing game. Like, there's some times where I'm like, wait, so can I reach this ledge? Like, you can ask those kind of questions because it's theater of the mind and you want to get to that. But there's sometimes where, like, people just get that third out-of-body experience and they don't refer to their character, they're not really into their character, and it kind of makes it... If you have one or two people in your party doing that, it makes it hard for everyone else to role play because it's like, Heldon, please have this tanker veil, and it's like Heldon takes the tanker, and then he's just gonna go to bed. It's like, all right,
honestly, like the flavor conversations in character, like those are like my favorite parts, right? Yeah. Like the whole point of even coming is just to like be able to talk to each other's characters and like for me it's different for every person, but like I really love the role-playing aspect and the banter and going back and forth.
It's tough to compete like when we're doing like a tragic backstory like comparison because I feel like somebody in this room always has the most tragic backstory and it's probably the most experience of the three players.
So Fletch.
No, I'm glad you guys caught on to the because it's a tough thing, right? Because it's that I feel like to me when I first started the like getting into character, doing the voice or the accent, and like being comfortable just talking directly to not like Joe and Mark, but to your characters and looking at you and talking to your characters was like the biggest barrier, right? It's the one that you're not sure of yourself. You're like, I don't know, am I going to go too big and everybody's going to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that you guys were
My
just
Lord,
able to...
please.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's the other thing too.
I love that you guys were able to dive in. That was really fun.
Yeah. And the very last thing, that's like a really quick DM trick if you want people to do more of that, is you literally always call them by their character name. I had a few slip-ups just because, it's kind of hard keeping track of names sometimes, but that's like, that's a really quick and easy D&D or DMing 101 is like always call them by their character name. And I will say none of you guys ever tripped up. I always said your name, you guys look right up. So I was like, okay, it's not like I was like Thornton and Mark was. Now I did mess your name up a few times, but you know what I mean, like
Thornton, son of Gordon.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's stuff like that, and I think that kind of helps it. So just from a DM perspective, on that player's perspective, but
absolutely.
No, I think this is fantastic. Thanks so much, everybody. Mark, do you have any more questions? Actually.
I'm good. Any last go back from our guests here?
I just want a positive affirmation on what date we will be doing the part 2 of this, because I absolutely want to see the characters of Thornton Iron Fist, Fletch, no last name, artist formerly known as Fletch,
last name redacted,
and Franklin Bean. I want to see the conclusion of these 3 characters.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of
Periwinkle Sky.
Periwinkle Sky.
Maybe not Periwinkle.
Yeah, he can kind of. By the way, that's so funny. I literally I had never had him planned in. That was the other thing too.
Yeah.
It's not like I even had him play. I promise you guys, that's gonna be a lot of fun. After this, I'll show you my DM.
Honestly,
we'll talk about it.
One of my favorite things to do to Tony is when I know he didn't have a character in mind, and I make him. This is gonna be a guy now. I'm sorry, you said it was a person.
Mark asked, what color were his robes? By the way, could you clarify?
Because that's the coolest thing too.
I'm thinking referee. You know what I mean?
Because that's white and black.
That's one of the coolest. Like when a session really gets clicking and going is almost like when the players are actually telling more of the story than the DM, and when you feel like the players together are actually the ones crafting the story, and the DM's really just steering the ship, right? But the players are the ones like coming up with all the ideas, coming up with names, coming up with memories and history, and then it's like then it's everybody's story instead of the DM just like reading off a paper. It's when we're all making the story together. That's
which was awesome. So before. So I know we all gave our backgrounds right at the start of this episode, but beforehand we did give our backgrounds just to each other. And I know all 3 of us adapted to all 3 backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
You know, we all had a shared anger with the king based on something in our backstory.
Yeah.
You know, it was really cool to see it all come together.
Yeah, because you guys live in this world. I mean, there's going to be a plight, and that plight's going to bond somebody somehow. And then, but I will say, like, as a DM, my favorite characters of all time are actually character created characters. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, this person did this, and it's like, okay, and I like write it down, make a little note, see what's going on, and then later on, like revisiting that, it's like a really good touch point. Because like then it's almost like a prequel. It's fun for me because now it's like the little things where it's like sometimes when I think back to like the Star Wars and George Lucas writing the prequels, it's like there's one-off comments that cause entire movies to be planned. Like it's like, oh, I've served with your dad in the Clone Wars. Like, can you imagine watching the first Star Wars and being like, what was the Clone Wars? Like in that little breadcrumb. Mm-hmm. So and then as a writer in me, as a DM, it's like, oh my, what did happen? Like, that whole, like, lycanthropy and your mom and everything, it's like, dude, how is that going to work in? You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's like you're giving me breadcrumbs to fill out the story a little bit more, or at least give you the framework to fill out the story, which is what I really love and enjoy. So it's fantastic. So that's why I 1000% agree with Ben. That's really where it comes from. So yeah, especially that's a huge thing for players. If you can help your DM like that, come in. The other thing for DM, if I had a longer one, normally what I like to do is I'll do a name generator and I'll just crank out like 20 of like different races, male, female, everything like that. And then what I'll do is whenever someone does pop up, if I'm a good noodle, I'll have that located. But I'll be honest, I've done that for like 2 campaigns maybe, and neither of them were with Ben. So every single time Ben's like, hey, is this? I'm like, oh, okay. So then a lot of them are just like, yeah, I remember we had like these port workers, and they end up being names of alcohol because it was the easiest thing to think off the top back. So it's like Admiral Nelson, Captain Morgan, like stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a little bit easier for me and a little bit more fun because now I know whenever there's another port, I got to think of some other alcohol name. So
I think you guys good?
Yeah, if you're still listening, God bless you.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Like I said, I don't think our dads did ever listen, but if our mothers
they ever find it,
if our mothers are still listening at this point, we both love you.
Yeah.
I imagine we lost them early on, but yeah. So with that, thanks for listening. Please always reach out with questions, mix-ups, what-if ideas, episode ideas. Obviously, this was a new thing that we're trying. If you want to hear the second shot, let us know.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Don't
we can
let
get
our
that.
characters die, please.
Yeah.
I'm begging you.
We're going to do it regardless. But if you want to hear the recording of it,
yeah. Han, yeah. The whole second shot, Han shot first, But no, that sounds perfect. And if you ask yourself, hey, where do we reach out with these ideas and also suggestions, please go to either X or Instagram at the Live Laugh Lore Pod, or you can also email us at the Live Laugh Lore Pod at gmail.com. That's livelaughflorepod at gmail.com.
Thanks, guys.